66 and mostly cloudy. Hits 10 o'clock. I'm Paul Rasmussen. Penn State's board is recommending 7 satellite campus closings, including 3 in Western PA. News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush has details.
Their proposed cuts include Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango. The confirmation comes months after Penn State officials began contemplating a closure plan in response to declining enrollment, a projected drop in Pennsylvania's college-age population, and a lack of state funding. This list has come to light before a final vote by the Board of Trustees, and the university pushed back against media reports listing the 7 campuses to be closed. A statement on university's website says until the board votes on the closures, nothing is final. If approved, over 1,100 students at the Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango campuses would be affected. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Severe flooding reported Tuesday after heavy rains in Somerset County, where residents in low-lying areas were ordered to evacuate as the Castleman River was rising rapidly. Myersdale Mayor Shane Smith declared a state of emergency.
We are seeing flooding in the majority of the houses in town, some even as high as the first floor.
And homeowner Butch Lepley talked with KDKA TV.
I think Barb said we had just about 4.5 inches of rain today, and pretty bad flooding.
Somerset County water rescue teams were called in. No injuries were reported, though. Federal and state emergency management officials are expected in Myersville today. Flash flooding forced evacuations also Tuesday at several schools in western Maryland. 5 inches of rain pushed the North Branch Potomac River over its banks and into Westernport Elementary School. 4th grader William Wade says everyone moved to the 2nd floor.
The first floor had been flooded all the way to the ceiling.
All 150 students and 50 adults were rescued by first responders in boats. Police are investigating a deadly crash late last night on Ohio River Boulevard in Emsworth. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near the intersection with Hazelwood Avenue, where a vehicle collided with a utility pole. The southbound lanes of 65 were shut down for several hours during the accident investigation. The State Attorney General's office has seized more than 400 gambling machines at bars, gas stations, and convenience stores in 12 counties in southwestern Pennsylvania. In a statement about the crackdown on games of chance, Attorney General Dave Sunday says the devices were essentially slot machines dressed up as skill machines. Felony charges have been filed against 2 companies, Buffalo Skill Games and JJ Amusement. Both are operated by John Conley, who has prior federal gambling convictions. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 48 points at 42,189. The Nasdaq is up 53 points, and the S&P is ahead 3. KDKA Sports, the Pirates and Mets will finish a 3-game series tonight. Bailey Falter starts for the Bucks. And the Steelers' full regular season schedule will be released tonight by the NFL. The news is brought to you by P.J. Fitzpatrick, home improvements with no interest financing if you need it. TrustPJ.com. KDKA Radio News Time, 10:03. Time to call Rhino Shield and have your home look new again. For a free estimate, call 888-744-6641. 66 and cloudy in Pittsburgh. AAA traffic and the AccuWeather forecast next.
Looking for a ride that's ready for anything Pittsburgh throws your way? Then it's time to meet the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester at Bowser Subaru. The 2025 Subaru Forester and its symmetrical all-wheel drive provides the confidence to explore from muddy trails to long stretches of highway. And with 3.9% APR for 48 months, you don't want to miss it. Don't wait. Visit Bowser Subaru today and take advantage of this limited time offer. With credit approval and financing through SMFL. See Bowser Subaru for complete details. Offer ends May 31st. Log on to BowserSubaru.com. Better yet, visit and take a test drive. Now that's the power of Bowser. BowserSubaru.com. Bowser Subaru, Route 51 South on top of the hill.
Magnificent May savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank NTC?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. St. Louis style spare ribs, $3.29 a pound. Whole seedless watermelons, $3.99 each. And selected varieties of Hillendale Farm shredded, sliced, or chunked cheese, 8-ounce packages, $1.77 each. Additional savings in our meat department. 93% lean fresh ground sirloin, $5.79 a pound. And USDA Choice PA Angus sirloin tip steaks or roast, $5.99 a pound. In the produce department, Selected varieties of Little Leaf Farm salad greens, 4-ounce packages, 2 for $6, and jumbo Florida vine-ripe tomatoes, 99 cents a pound. In the deli department, Belgioso fresh mozzarella balls, 8-ounce packages, $3.99 each, and Coon's homemade bruschetta, $6.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of San Giorgio pasta, 12 to 16-ounce boxes, 99 cents each.
So get in on the magnificent May savings at Coons Market. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
From the P.J. Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA traffic powered by Bowser. Ellen, my friend, what's up?
We still have lots of delays out there at this point, Marty. The good news is the accident roster is clear for now, so we'll take that because it's been a busy morning with those kinds of things going on. No accident on the Parkway West inbound, just slow traffic for you at the top of Green Tree Hill headed for the Fort Pitt tunnels. I hope you're headed out toward the airport right now. That's a great ride to the western suburbs and to Pittsburgh International on the Parkway West 376, or even if you're traveling I-79. Banksville Road still kind of heavy, approaching the intersection with Crane Avenue and trying to make your way to the Parkway West. Parkway East inbound just slow at Edgewood Swissvale. With AAA traffic, I'm Edlin Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today with a shower and thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Then partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog forming, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's the Big K, Big Three.
Brought to you by New Flow Men's Health. The biggest 3 stories of the day on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
How many passwords do you have? It's unbelievable. I get that we're trying to protect data, but come on. My wife has at least 100. I have at least 100. And they change them every 30 days or 30 minutes or 2 hours. It's kind of annoying. Spend half your day trying to figure out which password. I spent at least an hour yesterday trying to get into my UPMC app to find out about a colonoscopy. I could have had the colonoscopy in the time it took to get the password cleared up. That's today's gripe. Moving on. So I get this release from the state attorney general, Dave Sunday, who I hear is a hell of a guy. I'm actually going to have him on next week. I find it fascinating and a bit ironic and rather amusing. Every time we get a new attorney general, they do the let's go raid the mom and pop slot machines at the mom and pop bars. So they did these raids, and I've been on these for at least 30 years. They did these raids at gas stations and bars, convenience stores, and Allegheny, Beaver, Butler, Cambria, Crawford, Indiana, Somerset, Venango, Erie, Washington, Armstrong, and West Moco. I find it so hypocritical. First of all, I know folks that have these slot machines in their bars. They're mom and pops, man. They use the cash to keep the business going. Some of them make $3-4 grand a month. Nothing illegal. They pay people off. They're the same kind of slot machines that are in the casinos. I find the hypocrisy of government rather amusing. So now these people are all arrested and charged with felony corrupt organization charges, and they could face 20 years in prison and a $25,000 fine. So the irony of back in the day when I was a young man, my grandfather, Vince Coda, who's my man, used to take me into the private clubs in Bloomfield where 2 things would happen. Number one, they had these one-armed bandits, as they call them, slot machines, whatever the hell you want. They were everywhere. All of them illegal and run by relatives and friends. And number two, they would write numbers. You know, they would, back in the day, this is what happened. I saw this happen all the time. I had uncles, and then their kids would run this gambling operation. That turned into the Pennsylvania lottery. I'm being serious. So think about the hypocrisy of government. So they put this big show on. They take out several hundred of these mom and pop slot machines that are in the back of convenience stores all over the area, all over West Virginia. And once in a while, they want to make a big raid and show that they're big boys and they're enforcing the law, and they throw these old people in jail and they take their machines and then they start over again. The irony of it is, when I was growing up, all that stuff was pervasive. Slot machines, numbers writers, all run by relatives and friends, cousins actually. Most of them in Bloomfield. So then the state said, man, this is easy money. So they made it illegal, threw my cousins in jail, and then turned their illegal operations, in air quotes, into the state's legal operations. So now, as you know, the numbers writers are now lotto managers. And the illegal mom and pop slot operators are now casino owners, right? And watch what happens next. So now what they're going to do is try to legalize marijuana. So every guy that you ever knew that was busted for marijuana is breaking the law. But now the state realizes they can make money from it, so they'll sell it legally. So think of three things that were illegal as I was growing up, that different relatives and or friends had to make a living. Slots in bars. I saw hundreds of them as I was a kid. Numbers. I watched all day long as people handed my Uncle Huge, as they called Uncle Huge in Bloomfield, numbers that they would play with him. He paid off 500 to 1. And now marijuana. They're trying to make it recreational in the state of Pennsylvania. So the hypocrites in government throw everyone in jail until the light goes off that they can make money from these illegal activities, so now they make them legal. So first it was slots, then it was numbers, now it will be marijuana. And this is how government works. And this is why people don't like government and or trust government. I'm sure Dave Sunday's a fine man. In fact, we're going to have him on the show sometime next week. But I have been on at least 40 of these big illegal gambling raids in my 60-plus years. And in my 30-plus years as a television reporter and a journalist. And every single one's the same. The big guys with the vests and the guns break into the little beat-up mom and pop in Beaver County and haul out the illegal machines. Oh, no. Oh, no. 5 days later, after a hearing, they pay a fine and set up another hearing, and the machines are back in the store, and mom and pop are back in business running their quote-unquote illegal gambling operation. The state, meantime, makes billions of dollars from the same thing they say mom and pop are doing to break the law, and mom and pop did it first. Some states have done the same thing with prostitution, as you know. Legalized sex in some cities in America. There is no end in sight for ways for lazy politicians, rather than cutting costs or generating revenue by creating jobs and new businesses, there is no end in sight to the way that they will take stuff from people and call it illegal so they can flip it and make money from it. To which I say, is this as good as it gets? They confiscated 300 to 400 quote-unquote illegal slot machines from mom-and-pop grocery stores all over the region. Thank God they did that. I can sleep safely tonight. Hypocrites. 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 Prove me wrong. 866-391-1020. Annoys the hell out of me. Can you tell? From the P.J. Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center is AAA Traffic's Ellen Gill. My friend, what's up?
All right, so we have construction zone lane restrictions happening on the Parkway East, westbound or inbound, Marty. This one kicks off today in Churchill, Wilkins, and Monroeville. So through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So during your daylight hours there, you're going to find a single lane closed inbound each day between the Old William Penn Highway overpass and the Penn Hills exit. That same area will have a lane restriction overnight, tonight, and Thursday night. Then again from 9 p.m. on Friday until noon on Saturday. Also at the same time, during those overnight hours, the Penn Hills on and off ramps will close with posted detours for you. So do keep all of that in mind as you're traveling in the eastern suburbs. Inbound right now, the Parkway East just has a bit of a slowdown for you between Edgewood, Swissvale, and the Squirrel Hill tunnels. With AAA Traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
So we have two family friends that graduated from Mount Lebo and went to CCAC. 2 years they went. Saved well over $100,000 each for college. One going to the University of North Carolina, all credits transfer. The other, an Ivy League school, all credits transfer. CCAC, folks. Right here in Pittsburgh. Cybersecurity, IT, gaming, advanced manufacturing, robotics, automation, and much more. Check out CCAC, ccac.edu. Every time I go into the offices of Physical, that's F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L, in Monroeville, where I get physical therapy, to help my balance, I see a room full of patients waiting that heard how much it's helped me on this talk show. And it's so rewarding. F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L, 412-457-8200, right behind the Monroeville Mall. Look, I had chemo and radiation, jacked up my balance. It doesn't anymore. Physical, F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L. It works.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models. So it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Judge Michelle Santacola is running for a seat on the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. With decades of legal experience and currently serving as magisterial district judge, Michelle Santacola has always applied fairness and integrity to the thousands of cases she has presided over. She is highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association and widely endorsed by various labor organizations.
I'm Judge Michelle Santacola. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by friends of Michelle Santacola.
Hey folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit us in Robinson Town Center, in Cranberry Township, and now open in Morgantown.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
UPMC, life-saving, life-changing information. Amazing.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The hypocrites. At the end of the day, what happens is state folks, federal folks, they want their cut of the action. They see somebody making all this gravy and they want a spoonful of gravy. And as my man Colin Dunlap says, tell me how this is any different than a football block pool, right? So anyone that knows high school football or even the NFL, people run these block pools and they're gambling, right? You watch. At some point, they'll start arresting these guys running these block pools because the state will realize there's money in it, right? I have friends in West Virginia that own hundreds of illegal gaming machines. Hundreds. And they're millionaires from it. Once in a while, I'm serious about this, the state raids them, takes them to jail, they pay a fine, they go home. When my uncle was running a numbers gambling operation, it's kind of cool actually. This is a fact. 2 or 3 times a year, cops would come to him and say, we got to arrest you. This is the truth. They would arrest him and my aunt, who I loved, and then they would move their entire operation to my grandmother's house in Shadyside. They would put in extra phone lines and write numbers all day long. It was wild. Folks, it was like a scene from The Sopranos, the whole room full of Italian food. They would pay off the cops, they would pay their fine, and go back in business writing numbers. The hypocrisy of government. It has a stench to it. No disrespect to Dave Sunday. They are what they are. They're politicians. But this big, brawny release that we took down this illegal gaming network, spare me. Spare me. Grandpa and Grandma selling Cheetos and Dr. Pepper and people in the back playing a gaming machine that you can play at the Rivers Casino. Spare me. I'm a big, tough law enforcement guy. I've seen this movie many times. What's ironic that one of the guys they busted is like notorious for this stuff. He's been doing it like 50 years. He knows this. Pays his fine. He moves along. He starts over again. Isn't it romantic and ironic? Tom, go ahead, man.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I live in West Virginia, and I also live in Massachusetts. I'm retired. I call you every now and then. I'm the retired IBEW electrician.
Nice, man.
Anyway, with regards to marijuana, Massachusetts legalized it a few years ago where they have dispensaries that are out there. I don't use marijuana. I did in the 70s. The stuff that I smoked was a hell of a lot less potent than what we have now.
1,000%.
But what you're not what you're not hearing is that there is an increase of psychosis among young people that are using it, and I just Google it. It's 11-fold.
Okay, well, that being said, rather than getting into the debate over whether or not marijuana is bad for you, here's what happens, my man. I love your call. These idiots, and I mean that in the nicest way, in government don't know how to manage marijuana. So what happened in Cali, this is a fact, and in Colorado, this is a fact. They taxed it so much that right now there's $3 billion worth of weed sitting in warehouses in California they can't sell. Ha! You know why? Because everybody's buying the illegal pot because it's half the price. Huh? It's the same crap they'll try to pull in Pennsylvania. These folks will screw that up too. We got to get our taxes. I know, boss, but it's $400 an ounce on the street and we're charging $700. So? Man, we got to learn how to sell weed, man. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Marty. Appreciate what all you do. Isn't that how our lottery system was born? Wasn't it an African-American woman that started the numbers? And I think she was going to be thrown in prison or something, and then she fought it, and then eventually the government created the lottery system out of what once was illegal, but once they saw the money that was being made from it, then
I don't know if she was African-American, but I told you, you mustn't be listening. This is what my uncle did, and his whole family did for decades. Numbers, lottery. Twice a year they got arrested, and then they set back up again. And then the state said, we can make more money than he can. Great calls. Ralph, go ahead.
Yeah, Marty.
we have a fireman's club, which I was involved in, and the liquor control board come in, raided the place, took all our...
See? Come on.
So
this is their big move.
Yes. Well, anyhow, we called the machine man, and according to the liquor agent, we were going to have a hearing and have to pay a fine. So we called the machine man, and he must have been paying his insurance with the liquor control board, because the next day the machines were back. We never had a hearing or a fine.
That is a fantastic phone call. My man. Isn't that funny how that works? I find it fascinating. You watch, as Colin suggests, at some point there will be these silly, ridiculous state-run football block pools. You watch. Why? We can make money from it. You know what? My dear friend Kim Ward told me 2 weeks ago that the bill that the state reps passed would not pass in the Senate. You know why? Because the Democrats want the Liquor Control Board to run it, and Kim Ward saying, hell no. They will screw up marijuana the way they've screwed up liquor sales. Guess what? The bill is shot down. We will not have recreational legal marijuana in this state until they figure out how to do it right. Not to overtax it, not to ruin it like they ruined liquor sales, like they ruined the control of liquor with tens of thousands of worthless employees. They will do the same damn thing with marijuana. You watch. Hypocrites. Craziness.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends. Weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life. Your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
66 overcast skies at 10:30. I'm Paul Rasmussen. State lawmakers voted on 2 high-profile measures Tuesday and took no action on another. News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush has details.
A Republican-led Senate committee rejected a bill to legalize recreational marijuana less than a week after it passed the Democratic-led House. The Law and Justice Committee vote was 7-3. The GOP objects to having the Liquor Control Board run stores to sell recreational pot. Also, Pennsylvania voters would get more than a week of early voting, and county election officials will have more time to start processing mail-in ballots under an election reform proposal passed by the House. Also in the bill are rules for ballot drop boxes, registered voter list, and voter registration. It passed by a single vote with all Democrats in favor. The legislation goes next to the Republican majority Senate. Finally, there was no action on a voter ID bill. The House Majority Leader sidelined it. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Pittsburgh International's new landside building, which is months away from opening, hosted its first event Tuesday. News Radio KDKA's David Ballarado has more on the summit looking at AI in travel.
While scaffolds still cover a good section of the new departures area, enough was ready to host the 300 or so people who attended Tuesday's festivities, including a Q&A segment with Airport Authority CEO Christina Cassotis and Sean Doyle, the head of British Airways. Cassotis says he liked what he saw.
Oh, yes. He took one of the tours. Actually, he was on one of the tours earlier, and he was really impressed. And, yes, I've spent quite a bit of time with him already.
Media also got a guided tour of the still under construction facility, with substantial completion expected by the end of June. Paul Hoback, the airport's chief development officer, says then 3 or 4 months of run-throughs will start as they gear up for a still undecided opening day. David Ballarado, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 76 points at 42,217. The NASDAQ is up 79 points. And the S&P up 5. KDKA Radio News Time, 10:31. Our next update at 11. I'm Paul Rasmussen on the Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio KDKA.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. This is something very special to me. I've been talking about Gunny's Ridge, a special place for veterans and first responders. You can honor a loved veteran or first responder with a fruit tree in the Honor Orchard of Gunny's Ridge. It's $122. The number 22 represents the number of veterans who take their lives each day. Gunny's Ridge is a special place. You must check it out at gunnysridge.org. This honor orchard is a beautiful thing. gunnysridge.org.
Hey, Paul Alexander here. It's officially crunch time. The 4th of July is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Backyard barbecues, family, friends, and the start of a summer of the new you. How would you feel if you dropped 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180 weight loss? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Forget challenges. This is about taking control with a proven program that works. It's attainable, doable, and easy. I did it. I lost 35 pounds in 6.5 weeks. Let me tell you what, life is much better without carrying around all that extra baggage. This isn't wishful thinking. It's real results without gimmicks or medication. Just smart eating, simple guidance, and a clear path to success. Make this 4th of July your personal Independence Day from unwanted pounds and keep it off thanks to a free support for life. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com, because when the fireworks go off this year, you're going to have something even greater to celebrate.
I went to high school with Bob Tootie. I've known him for, we're pushing 55 years. The best HVAC guy I've ever met in my life, Tootie Mechanical. The best employees, the best sales, the best service. Put 2 furnaces in our home, 2. Unbelievable pricing, unbelievable service, unbelievable response to customers' needs. Tootie Mechanical. You know why? It's a family-run business. It's family first. It's service first. It's the best there is. Tootie Mechanical, 412-771-4100. Tootie.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
From the P.J. Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser. Ellen, what's up?
All right, Marty. So this is one of those projects that bears repeating. Of course, the Parkway East getting a ton of work over the past few months as you are traveling between the Monroeville Route 48 interchange and the Penn Hills interchange. So here's another layer to it. Paving work on the Parkway East, westbound or inbound, begins today in Churchill, Wilkins, and Monroeville through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You'll find a single lane closed inbound each day between Old William Penn Highway's overpass and the Penn Hills exit. Now, that same area will get lane restrictions overnights tonight and Thursday night, and then again on Friday evening at 9 until noon on Saturday. During the overnight hours, the Penn Hills on and off ramps will also close with posted detours for you. So do plan ahead for that. Right now in that area on the Parkway East, we're not seeing any major slowdowns around that lane pinch. With AAA traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today. A shower and thunderstorm in parts of the area during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog developing, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team as they discuss their favorite ground beef recipes. It's the Coons Cooking Hour, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
All right, halfway through the week. Let's get going here. We'll get to the weekend before we know it. It's a Wednesday, 2 to 6. Colin Dunlap with you, KDK.
We think we know our kids. We think we have perfect kids. We think we're great parents. But the truth is the world spins and we don't have control of that. And the truth is we're flawed individuals and we make mistakes. I screw up every day. I tell my wife this because I believe it, because I watched it and I lived it. The two greatest influencers in our lives as we get a little further away from our parents are our girlfriends and our boyfriends and their peers, the kids. So when our kids screw up, it's usually because their friends screwed up. And we're seeing this phenomenon. I got my daughter on hold because we're going to talk to her about something serious, but Christine brought up something and Patrick brought up something, these ignorant TikTok challenges that oftentimes jeopardize the health of kids when they do moronic things to kind of fall in line because everybody else is doing it. Honey, kind of describe, and Patrick can jump in too because he's finding a lot of data online, these TikTok, this latest idiotic TikTok challenge and what's happening.
Right. I mean, we've heard of a lot of these really ridiculous trends that you would think kids wouldn't do, but, you know, it becomes, quote unquote, the cool thing to do. So right now there's a trend where kids are putting objects into their Chromebook, which is usually a school-issued laptop. And the point of it is to get it to smoke or catch fire. And this has actually happened all around the country. There's a kid in Ohio who was actually charged with felony arson and vandalism. And just this week or last week, Carlinton in our area sent a letter to all the parents saying, look, talk to your kids about this. Please let them know that this is not a good thing to do. Obviously, it's not safe, but it's also damaging school property if it's a school-issued computer or their, own family's computer.
Patrick, you're running some of this on the stream. You're saying, 12 states have problems with this or enforcement or what?
At least it's all over the place.
Is it?
Yeah, so kids nationwide have been doing this.
Well,
there are dozens and dozens of videos across TikTok and other social platforms. And I'm seeing pretty much every state, you've got school districts that are stepping up to address this.
So hold on. You're showing this amazing video that you grabbed, which is awesome, brother. What do they just jam something in it?
Like a paper clip or something in the port.
Why?
Yeah.
Or tinfoil. They're putting it in the USB ports.
Yeah,
so
why?
They're bridging the...
Yeah, but what's the point?
Their, destruction. They're
start a
creating
fire,
smoke
watch
and
it
fire in their
smoke.
classrooms.
You're showing that here, the videos.
Yeah, but remember these are lithium-ion batteries in these things too, which they burn super hot.
Yeah, it said 900 degrees.
Yeah.
So I asked Vince. I
Our
said,
son,
"Hey, yeah."
14.
I just said, "Hey, I heard about this. Have you seen this trend?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I've definitely seen that." And I said,
What do you mean? He's seen it in school?
Well, no, he saw it online on TikTok. And then I said, "Well, I just want to make sure that's not something you can or should be doing." I said, "Have you heard of anyone doing it?" He said, "Oh yeah, I have friends who've tried it."
Well, it's not funny.
No, it's
That's
not.
ignorant,
He
man.
said they weren't trying to start a fire, but I think it got them curious as to what would happen.
What?
Teenage boys. So.
But my point is, and Patrick, we've seen kids hurt themselves with these TikTok challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they putting the lighter fluid or the alcohol and lighting it on fire?
They were doing that. Even the stupid cinnamon challenge. Remember that?
The
People
cinnamon.
They were hitting teachers in the hallway. Do you remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
the choking challenge. They were choking people
that's
out.
very dangerous.
But TikTok has already blocked the search for this. So if you go search for
good.
it now, it takes you to their challenge warning page.
Oh, good.
My boy Ken said his 11-year-old daughter told me a 6th grader did it at their school. Another dangerous trend is the bombardment on social media of sexual predators, pedophiles, sex hustlers, scam artists, directed towards teen girls. And this came up at dinner last night with both Chloe and Sophia. Sophia's joining us this morning. Good morning, honey. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 20.
And
So.
tell everybody your grade point at Pitt this semester.
Well, this semester I got a 4.0.
4.0. What is that? Straight A's?
Yeah.
Just like Daddy.
Yeah.
So on a serious note, and I've seen some of this, and Patrick has too, on a regular basis, because Chloe brought this up too, you're bombarded with this weird stuff on social media. Kind of describe it, honey.
Yeah, sometimes there's people, go into your DMs. If you have a public account or not as much of it's private and be like, I'll give you whatever. Chloe gave an example of $400 a week if I can be your sugar daddy. Some weird stuff like that. And a lot of times I
Hold
think
on. Let's
it's,
not gloss over that. So she gets these messages where someone says they want a picture, right, honey? Some kind of picture, right?
Probably. Yeah.
And for that picture, they're saying, I'll be your sugar daddy and send you $400 a week, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah,
And
that's probably
how often do you see this kind of garbage?
Honestly, a lot. I think a lot of them are like you said, scams or bots or stuff. But I mean, some of them are also probably real.
And it's very common, is it not?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think most people get
Go ahead, honey.
I just looked it up because this is part of that mama group I'm with, the Mothers Against Media Addiction.
Yes.
And their numbers show that 1 in 8 13 to 15-year-olds experience an unwanted sexual advance on Instagram just in the past week.
I believe that. I see it everywhere, Patrick. Don't you?
Absolutely.
It's pervasive.
Oh, yeah. Between social media and even some of these young kids, there are kids in my son's high school that have OnlyFans accounts.
Yeah, I heard there was a girl at Mount Lebanon, or someone at Mount Lebanon has an OnlyFans account. And also heard there's an open sexploitation case, sextortion case.
Sextortion, right. And in fact, that number's here too. 12,600 kids were victims of sextortion just in 2 years, 2021 to 23. So that's very common. There's a case going on right now in our community where kids will send a picture. They think it's someone, who likes them, but it turns out it's a scammer, and sadly, it sometimes leads to suicide.
Well, we actually, I don't know if Sophia was sitting there, but we sat Vince down because this happens a lot to boys.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody or something reaches out to you and says, I like you, I want to send you a picture. Will you send me a picture, right? And then what happens is these young boys, because they're stupid and young and naive, send a picture of themselves, sometimes body parts, sometimes naked. And then this person has this picture and uses it to exploit them and or get money from them. Scary.
Sophia, do you think there's anything parents and families can do to, especially with younger kids? I mean, you're old enough and, mature enough to recognize what's going on, but to try and help prevent younger kids from seeing it, short of not allowing them to be on social media?
A lot of times I think it's like if you have a public account is when you get like DMs and stuff like that. So if you're private, I think at least it'll go to like a message request type thing, so it can't go straight to your DM. So I think that's probably a better way to regulate it, because if you're private, usually people can't go straight into your DM and ask you things.
It's kind of scary though, isn't it, Sophia?
Yeah, it is. It is really weird, definitely.
It's grimy too. Thanks, honey. Appreciate you. What did you get? What were your grades this semester? 4.0.
Yeah.
Where are you going to work today? Where are you going to work at?
Yeah, I'm working at Chris DeLuzio's office today.
She's going to be running that congressman's office all summer.
It's exciting. Your first office job.
You tell that congressman what kind of laws you want passed, sister. Thank you, honey.
All right, bye.
All right. I'm glad she did that, and I'm glad we brought this up because this stuff is very, very, very important. From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser. Ellen, what's up, my friend?
All right, thanks, Marty. We're getting reports just now of an accident out in Robinson Township. Heads up as you're traveling Steubenville Pike near the intersection with Lorish Road. A lot of crews dispatched to the scene there, so you could find some slowdowns around that problem. Parkway West inbound has sluggish traffic on the front side of Green Tree Hill, getting in line right around the Parkway Center Mall on-ramp before those Fort Pitt tunnels. Parkway East inbound has sluggish traffic between Edgewood, Swissvale, and the Squirrel Hill tunnels. 28 has just a smidge of a delay for you. At times, you're finding some bunched up traffic southbound or inbound toward town between the 40th and 31st Street bridges. With AAA traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Get 50% off your windows. That's half off. Plus, no interest, no payments, 12 months, and a free entry door with your windows purchase. 412-545-6003. Check it out now.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
They call him Even Stevens for a reason. For a decade, Judge Craig Stevens delivered fair, balanced justice on the bench, presiding over 50,000 cases and serving more than 100 communities as a district judge. He's highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association for his integrity, temperament, and experience. When you want a judge who's even, fair, and right down the middle, remember Even Stevens. Vote Judge Craig Stevens for Court of Common Pleas, number 20 on the ballot in the primary on May 20th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Craig Stevens.
You know what I love about Voss TV and appliance? Every single appliance in our house that's been replaced, and about 7 of them, came from Voss. Why? Unbelievable service. Unbelievable repairs. Unbelievable pricing. And it's family owned. And that makes such a big difference. Have you been to the showroom? Magnificent. The pricing, the service, the family atmosphere. 412-650-VOSS. 412-650-VOSS.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
6.
Follow the red, white, and new to Shorkey Kia's Memorial Day Super Sale. New 25 Kia Sportage LX or the new 25 Kia Seltos LX. Your choice, only $199 per month for 24 months with $29.95 due at signing. At Shorkey Kia, you get it all, including 2 years of prepaid maintenance and $500 more for your trade. PA's #1 volume Kia dealer, locations in North Huntingdon and Wexford. ShorkeyKia.com. Call 1-855-410-4037 for complete details on all offers and terms.
At Penn West University, we're making college make sense again for people who maybe thought college wasn't the answer. We're making college practical with programs tied to in-demand jobs that prepare you for success right away. We're making college accessible by breaking down barriers and offering more choices. We're making college approachable with faculty who understand where you're coming from and help you get where you're going. At Penn West, we're making college valuable again for people just like you. Learn more at pennwest.edu.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Here's your Jill on Money question of the day.
Bobby from Florida asks, I watch your appearances on television, and you don't seem to talk a lot about what people in their 70s and 80s should be doing during these uncertain times with their money. It seems to always be about younger people and the long haul. What about my husband and me? We're in our 80s. Well, Bobby, regardless of age, it's all about how you're managing your money based on what your needs are. For you and your husband, maybe keep a year's worth of expenses, maybe even 2 years, in cash. But with the rest of your money, the allocation needs to reflect where you are in your life.
Have a question? Go to JillOnMoney.com.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It's fascinating how the world has changed. In my day, if you wanted to see naked girls, and most teenage boys do, quite frankly, you would have to steal a Playboy from a pharmacy, which was hidden behind the counter in a plastic wrap. I'm just being real. Or you have to search your grandfather's garages, where we found them, by the way. We actually had a little Playboy club because we were perverts at 14. And you'd go and hide and look at naked girls in a magazine. Now, guy comes to me and sends me a text that his 6th grade son was looking at full-fledged, full-blown porn on his cell phone in the 6th grade at a Catholic school in Pittsburgh. No disrespect to the Catholic schools. What I think we do as parents is we look at our kids as perfect and beautiful, and they would never. We start this thing, and the truth is, we have to be more diligent. And my wife is the best mother I've ever seen. That includes my own mom, because she's very diligent with the kids. But I think sometimes, sweetheart, both of us fall in the category of our kids wouldn't do that. Do we not?
Absolutely. No, it's very difficult to police things online because it's a personal device. It's not like it's a TV where we used to be able to see what kids were watching. And yeah, it's easy to think, oh, they wouldn't do that. But sometimes they're not even looking for it, and it shows. I think that's part of what's going on, too, because the average age kids in the U.S. are first seeing online porn is 12. And I think a lot of them aren't looking for it. They're on social media, or they're on websites, and it's very hard as a parent to figure out how to control this. We're so it's kind of an interesting dichotomy of how we're so careful with our kids of, don't talk to strangers, don't go here without me. Yet online, they're talking to strangers easily.
Guys are offering them $400 a month to be their sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And my son tells us that his friends have been jamming stuff in computers to set a fire. We had no idea. We would never believe that would happen in his lifetime. My point is, I think we have to be more diligent with our kids and not just say, he's a good kid. I was a good kid, but I got arrested for stealing cars. I was a good kid. But when I was 15 years old, I was smoking dope and making out with girls and drinking beer in a neighbor's basement. My mother had no idea until she did, and then the whole family fell apart. My point is this, is that we have to be better in terms of, look, not paranoid parents, but more diligent, right?
Yeah, and because unfortunately, the way the computers and the phones and stuff work, you can't prevent them from seeing everything. There's ways you can try to, but kids get around it. It's very difficult and cumbersome. It's impossible for parents.
I had no idea Chloe's being solicited.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
My sugar daddies who were going to pay her $500 a week or something. Right. I had no idea until she tells me this yesterday.
Right, which is.
I had no idea Vince's friends were trying to jam stuff in computers and they were doing it in school.
Yeah. Well, and I even tried to set limits on his phone to do things, and it doesn't work. I mean, it's not like he's even trying to get around it. It's crazy. As a parent, it's very difficult.
We love our kids. Sometimes we love them too much that we don't see them, that they're kids. And I tell my wife this, and I live by this. They will be influenced when they get in these years by two groups, their peers and their boyfriends and or girlfriends. And if you watch their peers and girlfriends, you'll know what your kids are about to do, whether it's sketchy or not. If they're doing it, your kids will be doing it. Whether you think Junior is perfect, maybe they are. And I'm not telling you to crawl up your kids, you know what, but I'm telling, because we learned this lesson every single day with our kids.
Absolutely.
We have to be better parents, or they'll get in trouble big time, and they could get hurt. And we don't want that now, do we?
A Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
Experience, leadership, equity, and integrity. Represent how Sheriff Kevin Krause effectively serves Allegheny County. Paul Martino here, supporting the re-election of Allegheny County Sheriff Kevin Krause. Kevin's proven commitment to bring downtown services to local communities, his decades of law enforcement service, and his numerous community outreach programs are key reasons to re-elect him as sheriff.
I'm Sheriff Kevin Krause. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by Friends of Kevin Krause for Sheriff.
So Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service is one of my boys and one of my good friends. And as we get through this insanity of that massive storm that brought down over 100,000 trees, call a guy you can trust. Carlos with Greater Pitt Tree Service. Call a guy who does the right thing every time. Carlos with Greater Pitt Tree Service. Call a guy that cares. He'll explain the insurance issues, explain the cost, the equipment they use, how long it's going to take, and he'll be there on time. 412-884-TREE. 412-884-TREE. Greater Pitt Tree Service, the best.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Hey, folks, Marty here. What's a four-letter word for indoor-outdoor cleaning? It's COIT, C-O-I-T. Save 30% off all COIT cleaning services from my friends at COIT. Carpets, rugs, drapes, upholstery, outdoor porch and patio furniture, and more. Get everything amazingly COIT clean for the warm weather. Call COIT. Save 30% right now. 1-800-FOR-COIT. 1-800-FOR-COIT. Get your home cleaned by the best. COIT.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
68 and overcast at 11 o'clock. I'm Paul Rasmussen. A leak of recommended campus closures has drawn a rebuke from Penn State's Board of Trustees. News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush has the story.
The trustees are facing pushback and criticism over the proposed closures, specifically the Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango campuses in the Pittsburgh region. A statement released by the university says the board recognizes how personal this decision is to every member of our Commonwealth campus community and our broader Penn State family. That someone would share this information with the media, knowing how this news would impact our campus communities, is truly disappointing. The board has an executive session scheduled tomorrow where they will discuss the possible closures. A final vote has yet to be scheduled. Tamira Rush, News Radio, KDKA.
Severe flooding reported Tuesday after heavy rains in Somerset County. Residents in low-lying areas were ordered to evacuate as the Castleman River was rising rapidly. Myersdale Mayor Shane Smith declared a state of emergency.
We are seeing flooding in the majority of the houses in town, some even as high as the first floor.
Homeowner Butch Lepley talked about the flooding with KDKA TV.
I think Barb said we had just about 4.5 inches of rain today, and pretty bad flooding.
Somerset County water rescue teams were called in and no injuries were reported. Federal and state emergency management officials are expected there today. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch that's in effect until 10 p.m. this evening for parts of our listening area, including Fayette, higher elevations of Fayette County, the higher elevations of Westmoreland, and Westmoreland County as well. Flash flooding forced evacuations Tuesday at several schools in western Maryland. 5 inches of rain pushed the North Branch Potomac River over its banks and into Westernport Elementary School. Fourth grader William Wade says everybody cleared out and headed for the second floor.
The first floor had been flooded all the way to the ceiling.
All 150 students and 50 adults were rescued by first responders. Police are investigating a deadly crash late last night on Ohio River Boulevard in Emsworth. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near the intersection with Hazelwood Avenue, where a vehicle collided with a utility pole. The southbound lanes of Route 65 were shut down for several hours during the accident investigation. No word yet on how many people were inside the vehicle. After reaching a record high of $6.23, the retail price of a dozen eggs has dropped from month to month for the first time since March of last year. As News Radio KDKA's Paul Alexander reports, it's good news for those that buy them by the pallet.
Danae Marshall is the owner of Bob's Diner that has locations in Carnegie and Kennedy. She says it's never easy, but this sure helps.
A lot of folks don't want to scramble their own eggs. So we're happy to do that for them. And it is. I mean, breakfast probably has a little bit higher food cost margin than some other, fine dining is much, much closer than we are.
The major issue has been the bird flu that wiped out nearly 170 million egg-laying hens. They take at least 1 year to replace. Paul Alexander, News Radio, KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is now down 50 points at 42,091. The NASDAQ is up 82 points, and the S&P is down 1. KDKA Sports, the Pirates and Mets will finish a 3-game series tonight. Bailey Falter starts for the Bucks, and the Steelers' full regular season schedule will be released tonight by the NFL. The news is brought to you by P.J. Fitzpatrick. For your home's windows, siding, doors, and bath, trust PJ.com. KDKA Radio News Time, 11:04. Time to call Botkin Family Wealth Management, a local, veteran-owned, independent financial planning and investment firm. 68, mostly cloudy in Pittsburgh now. AAA traffic in the AccuWeather forecast next.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, Ellen Gamble, what's up, my friend?
All right. Well, we just have one accident on the roster, still keeping crews busy at this hour, Marty. It is an accident in Robinson Township on Steubenville Pike at Lorish Road, so watch out for the slowdowns as you travel there. Elsewhere around the district, pretty tame. Gives us a chance to remind you about ramp closures for your overnights on the Parkway West, speaking of, in Collier and Robinson. So weather permitting, you'll find crews closing the ramp from southbound I-79 to the outbound or westbound Parkway West. They will work there 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. for your overnights on weeknights through Friday, the 23rd. AAA traffic on the 5s from Nest Expressions in Wexford, celebrating 25 years with a special 10% off savings. I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Happy anniversary!
Nest Expressions Window Fashions is celebrating 25 years of custom window treatments with an additional savings of 10% off this month. Call 724-933-5500.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be relatively warm. We'll see clouds and some sun for the rest of today with a shower and thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon and evening hours. Our high 75. Partly cloudy overnight. There may be some fog late, though 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Asbestos-related deaths in Allegheny County are 50 to 100% higher than the national average. In a city defined by its history with steelmaking, many local area tradesmen and steelworkers were exposed to asbestos on the job and are now suffering from lung cancer or mesothelioma. If you have been diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation, even if you smoked. For a free consultation, contact the Pittsburgh-based law firm Goldberg, Persky & White at 1-800-COMPLEX or online at gpwlaw.com.
This Memorial Day, give your home the protection it deserves and save big on your new roof. Contact Home Genius Exteriors now and get 50% off materials. Plus, no payments till 2026 and take an extra $500 off. And all military members receive an additional 10% discount. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS to schedule your free roof and attic inspection today. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I'm kind of a simple guy. You wouldn't believe it, but I am. I shop at one store, Giant Eagle. I usually go with my son. It's probably a half mile from our house, maybe, probably less. I go to one pharmacy, Giant Eagle. I used to go to Walgreens a little bit and CVS a little bit. And I'll tell you what happened. And I know you folks have seen this. Rite Aid, too. And I know Patrick has seen this. You start going in there, and all of a sudden, all this crap is missing. Gone from the shelves. It's bad, man. They got real big with their egos during COVID. They put pharmacies on every corner, and now the business is contracting, and the crap is hitting the fan. Before I talk to Denise with this spot-on story, listen to this. Walgreens has 6 times as many stores as Rite Aid. How about that? CVS closed more than 900 stores in the last 2 years, more than 1,000. Plans to close another 300 this year. Whoa. Walgreens is closing more than 1,200, it's 8,500 stores. It's It's amazing what's happening. And why are they closing? They started gobbling up mom and pops, signed long leases, and now Walgreens, and I believe this, says more than a quarter of its stores don't make money. How about that? I don't like the stores anymore, but because of what I just said. I think that their eyes got bigger than their stomach. I think they got greedy. I think that it's horrible. And I think it's detrimental to the community. And I just sent my boy Lance from MediConnect a note. Where the hell does he tell all these people to go to get their prescriptions? Because all these pharmacies are closing. Denise sent me a note that really kind of touched my soul, and because it kind of nails down everything that I just read through. Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm fine, Marty. How are you?
This is unsettling, is it not, my dear?
It is so, it's depressing. When I wrote to you about the Rite Aid closing in Burgettstown,
yep.
Little Burgettstown, not a big fancy town.
Yep.
Probably just best known because of the amphitheater.
It's actually true.
But, yeah. But this Rite Aid store, we have lived here, my husband and I, for 25 years. And the Rite Aid has always been there. It is not a fancy store. It is not one of the many brand new big Rite Aid stores that have sprung up over the last 10 years. And they lease the building. And it is needed, and it is depended on. You walk in, and you're greeted by your first name. Oh. You see people there that you know from church.
Yep.
You see kids getting their first job there.
It's true.
And then you, like you said, shelves start emptying out. So we customers ask, what's going on? Well, CVS was supposed to buy Rite Aid. That didn't happen. So then the employees were told that trucks were going to start delivering again. Our Rite Aid in Burgettstown in the last 3 weeks received one truck.
See.
And it barely made a difference on the shelves. The store almost echoes. And everyone looks so sad there. It's such a gathering place. You go there to buy your cards, get your medications, ask the pharmacists who are wonderful for like what to do in a certain situation. I will go to my pharmacist before I call my doctor because I've trusted these people here. And I don't shop at Giant Eagle. I barely shop at Walmart. And those are both a half hour away from me. And having this Rite Aid has just been a dream. And I walk in last week, like I told you, to get a prescription picked up, and I see signs on the door. No longer using your rewards card. No sales. No discounts will be given. No gift cards. No
they're on life support. I mean, honestly, this is so damn sad. It's like sitting in an intensive care unit, Denise, watching your family member die. You can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
And you can't get the attention of a doctor, yes,
true,
or a nurse.
It's true.
I mean, for the last couple of months, I would go in there and I'd say, give me the number for corporate.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, this is ridiculous. And then I heard that these closures are taking place on a store-by-store basis. Well, what in the world, why would they choose Little Burgettstown when it has no competition?
And my man Patrick just sent me a note. They just added 68 new stores to their closing list. They're bleeding money.
The pharmacy of our store is closing next Wednesday. Wow. And the store will close 7 days after. And everyone has had to transfer their prescriptions.
Where?
Where? Yeah, good point. I mean, I'm retired. I I don't feel the need to go out and drive around every day. I don't shop every day. I don't have to be at work every day. But I really like being able to drive 5 minutes
I get
to the drugstore.
But this is what happened in America. This is horrible. And this is what's happened. All these corporate pharmacies are getting their asses kicked, and they're taking it out on folks like you because they can't care. Because now they're owned by VC firms, and they don't really care about little Burgettstown. It's awful.
Yeah. And so we did transfer our prescriptions to CVS down in Washington.
Oh, wow. How far is
Well,
that?
then I come to find out yesterday that they don't accept the specific plan that my husband is on through UPMC.
Plus they're in trouble. No, I'm serious.
And I don't even know where the nearest Walgreens is. And when I shop at Walmart, it's early in the morning on my way to work. The pharmacy there is not open yet. I guess I resent having what it's going to do to this town.
Hold on, let me read this.
Like Derry.
CVS recently laid off 2,900 employees. Wow.
Yeah, and they're not getting any severance either. They're getting no severance.
Can you hang? Can you hang with the break? Can you hang for us?
Sure.
All right. We got to get more into this and look into Plan Bs. And I got my man Lance O'Brien from MediConnect, who is honestly brilliant at this stuff. What are they telling their people? Where are you going to get your stuff? Man, we'll be right back. Hang in there. Important. From the P.J. Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser Ellen Gamble. What's up?
All right, thanks, Marty. Just getting reports in of an accident. This in Marshall Township, so well north of the city on Warrendale Bain Road at the intersection with Perry Highway, Route 19. That's a super busy intersection, even on a good day. So watch out for the crews who are there. We have our PennDOT cameras looking out live over the accident in Robinson Township. This is on Steubenville Pike, Route 60 at Lorish Road, which is very close to the intersection with I-79. So you're finding heavy traffic as you try to exit from 79 onto Steubenville Pike in that area. Traffic is moving very, very slowly there. Traffic headed toward I-79 on 60 is doing a little bit better, but the off-ramp from 79 northbound and the stretch of 60 approaching that accident scene, very sluggish there. Leave extra time. With AAA Traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
My daughter wants to go to law school. I was talking to her about the Perry Calder law firm. From top to bottom, superstar lawyers. And I mean this. Handpicked and trained by JP, my boy, John Perry. Amazing team. Unprecedented results. Mike Calder, Renee Meadow, Jennifer Webster, Andrew Rothy, Alex and Trevor Perry, caring lawyers who are feared by doctors and insurance companies alike. Perry Calder Law Firm, folks. This is an amazing law firm with amazing results. Check it out.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Hey, folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine. Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NordicuSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Man, we criticize what we consume. We're criticizing all these closing, but what Americans are consuming is the mail order stuff and the big box stores. And CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens are getting boxed out, man. I'm sending a note right now as we sit here to Mark Cuban. He has this pharmaceutical company. What does he want to do? Does he want people to do more mail order? My man Patrick, Denise, hold on, but I want to grab Patrick. I started seeing this a year and a half ago. You start getting into these stores. I used to go to Walgreens. I would get the chewing gum so that I have saliva when I'm sleeping. It's not there anymore. The shelves are empty. CVS, Rite Aid, same thing. And you experience the same thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, especially over the last, 2 years, Rite Aid, because they were in bankruptcy, they weren't paying their vendors. So their vendors weren't delivering products to the store to put on the shelves. So as soon as they got out of their bankruptcy, the end of last year, they had all this hope and some stuff started trickling back in stores. But as they're getting ready, now they're in bankruptcy number 2.
Right on.
Ain't nothing coming in.
But big deal. The GLP-1s, the Ozempic, the Wegovy.
Yep.
Tell, because I got emails about this too. Tell us what happened.
All of those. So every Rite Aid store, even the ones that aren't closing, they're no longer doing the injectable GLP-1s. They stopped across the board and told people to get their scripts filled elsewhere. And they're helping people find other places, but still, anyone that's been depending on them, that's where I get mine.
Right on.
Because my mail order company couldn't do it. So now I've got to go find somewhere else to get mine, too.
And so, what are you doing, man? Are you hopscotching around? How are you getting your scripts? Because you have other scripts.
My others come through my mail order, the mail order service that's tied to my pharmacy plan on my health insurance. So that's part of the problem that they're saying. They're saying they are losing money on all the GLP-1s. But so they stopped it entirely nationwide.
It's awful. Denise, the sad thing is I spend a lot of time helping people and making a difference.
And you do.
We can't. We can't say, hey, write a check, keep this pharmacy open. There's this insane crater right now that these pharmacies are falling into this hole because people are going to Costco, they're going to Walmart. A Giant Eagle does $30 to $40 million right now in scripts. It's their biggest.
Oh my God.
I swear, it's their biggest growing business. So what you're gonna have to. And I'm lazy.
And this.
I want to go to one place.
Yeah. And if I have to go anywhere during the day, and I have just a couple little errands, I don't want to have to get dressed up to drive a half hour to Washington or Robinson or Weirton.
It's so true.
I just want to go into Burgettstown, go to my little grocery store, go to the Mennonite market that is wonderful. Kaufman's, you got to try it. and stop in at Rite Aid. And I feel so bad. I always see really elderly, frail people there.
Yep.
And there is a high-rise building for seniors very close to the Rite Aid. And these people don't have cars.
Nope.
They don't know how to navigate through the mail system.
This is another great point. They're not tech people. They're not going to get scripts sent to
Nor
their house.
should they have to be. They shouldn't have to be. And I really don't want to start mail order, but it looks like that might be what I'm going to have to do.
And Patrick, to be honest with her, it's actually pretty easy to set it up. We could even come and help you, whatever you want, we'll do.
Well, yeah, most of the plans, they actually prefer that because they can, depending on who your carrier, who your insurance provider is. Mine has its own pharmacy that it's tied to. So they prefer the mail order, and they give you better rates. At least they say they do.
What is your grocery? Do you have a giant? I apologize for my ignorance. Do you have a Giant Eagle there?
Oh, are you kidding? No. We have a very small, privately owned IGA. It used to be a shop and save, a privately owned shop and save. But when Hurricane Ivan came in and flooded Burgettstown, they lost the grocery store. So the family sold, and it's now Petrucci's IGA. Now, we've got $2 stores. But
with all due respect, that doesn't help you, my dear, that doesn't help you with your scripts. And
it doesn't help with prescriptions. Now, in all fairness, there is a very small, teeny, privately owned drugstore in Burgettstown that many people do use. I have not been able to use them, and their hours are much less. But they're not going to be able to handle the overflow.
They're barely hanging on, my dear, I promise you.
It amazes me how they are. And I know that our Rite Aid was told that they were being closed because they weren't bringing in enough people.
Right. Not enough revenue.
New people. Well, excuse me if we're dying. If we still matter.
Let me read this, how escalating operating costs and capital requirements led to billions in dollars in losses. And so this doesn't help you, but what I'm telling you is this is what happens in America now. It comes down to dollars and cents, and Burgettstown doesn't make sense to them. If you want us to, just think about it, what your plan might be. But we'll come out, we'll set you up on a mail order thing, and we'll get you in business, darling.
Well, I'm going to try getting my husband set up today. Right. I'm going to.
We can talk you through it too. Patrick is really good at this. We can talk you through it. Just let me know. You have my email and all that stuff. Just let me know.
I have your number. Thank you.
It's a great story, and you're telling it.
Thank you.
You're speaking for a lot of people,
sweetheart.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Love her. When we come back, my boy Lance with MediConnection is tell you what he's telling his customers to do because he's got the same problem. Hey, folks, it's Marty. These guys are good. Before Oakmont Country Club hosts the big event in June, they need to replace their deck. My favorite family-owned construction company, C&S Cousins Construction, won the contract. 3 local guys. Love them. Sam, Steve, and Calvin. If you're replacing your windows, doors, decks, everything from the top of your house to the patio, call them now. From planning, design to construction, C&S Cousins Construction are here to enhance and expand your living space. C&S Cousins Construction, 989-COUSINS. 989-COUSINS.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit us in Robinson Town Center, in Cranberry Township, and now open in Morgantown.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Couple stories about Bowser that kind of explain why we're about to buy our 5th Bowser car. So 2 things. My wife has a new Santa Fe. It's actually very cool. And we got it at Bowser, of course. And I saw when she pulled out a couple times some oil in the garage. Called Bowser. They sent folks to the house, picked up the car, took it to Bowser, fixed it, and brought it back. Come on, man. It's amazing. Then, a family friend got messed around on a car deal. I'm just telling you. Bad, bad deal. Bowser took it over, sold the car for them at auction, and then got him a great deal on a Subaru. Had the woman crying. Look, man, this is a family business that treats you like family. It's why we're about to lease our 5th Bowser car. Bowser gets it, man. every single day. The best there is. Bowser.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
68 overcast skies at 11:30. I'm Paul Rasmussen. State lawmakers voted on 2 high-profile measures Tuesday and then took no action on another. Here's News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush.
A Republican-led Senate committee rejected a bill to legalize recreational marijuana less than a week after it passed the Democratic-led House. The Law and Justice Committee vote was 7-3. The GOP objects to having the Liquor Control Board run stores to sell recreational pot. Also, Pennsylvania voters would get more than a week of early voting, and county election officials will have more time to start processing mail-in ballots under an election reform proposal passed by the House. Also in the bill are rules for ballot drop boxes, registered voter list, and voter registration. It passed by a single vote with all Democrats in favor. The legislation goes next to the Republican majority Senate. Finally, there was no action on a voter ID bill. The House Majority Leader sidelined it. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Retail egg prices are near historic highs, but coming down slowly. As News Radio KDKA's Paul Alexander reports, it's welcome news for those who buy them by the crate.
The bird flu wiped out nearly 170 million egg-laying hens since 2022. Danae Marshall, the owner of Bob's Diner, says you try to make sure that you're fair to your customers while making sure you stay in business.
We're used to having to just, go with the flow with those things. And we try to price our menu fairly and price it accordingly so that we can stay in business. But, yeah, restaurant margins are very slim.
President Trump has focused on lowering egg prices, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture plans to invest $1 billion to help farmers fight the bird flu. Paul Alexander, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is now up 5 points at 42,146. The Nasdaq up 115 points, and the S&P is up 9. KDKA Radio News Time, 11:32. Our next update at noon. I'm Paul Rasmussen on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Hey, folks, Marty here. Just talked to my boy J.K., the king of Oakmont restaurants. The Lot. Have you tried it? Best breakfast you'll ever have. Carnivores. Unbelievable wings. The Pub. Woo! The hamburgers. And how about Hofstadt's? The Italian is magnificent. So you got The Lot, Carnivores, the Pub, Hofstadt's. Every single one, the highest quality, the best food. Check them all out in Oakmont. Hey, folks, it's Marty. This is something very special to me. I've been talking about Gunny's Ridge, a special place for veterans and first responders. You can honor a loved veteran or first responder with a fruit tree in the Honor Orchard of Gunny's Ridge. It's $122. The number 22 represents the number of veterans who take their lives each day. Gunny's Ridge is a special place. You must check it out at gunnysridge.org. This honor orchard is a beautiful thing. Gunny'sRidge.org.
Vote Julie Capone for judge of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Julie has spent decades protecting our seniors who've been victimized by fraud, theft, physical abuse. She pioneered home visits to seniors to get them through the trauma. It's no wonder Julie Capone is highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association, endorsed by the Allegheny County Democratic Committee, the Allegheny Labor Council, numerous unions, and political and community leaders. Vote Julie Capone for judge of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas.
This is Julie Capone. I'd be honored to have your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by friends of Julie Capone.
Every time I go into the offices of Physical, that's F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L in Monroeville, where I get physical therapy, to help my balance, I see a room full of patients waiting that heard how much it's helped me on this talk show. And it's so rewarding. F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L, 412-457-8200, right behind the Monroeville Mall. Look, I had chemo and radiation, jacked up my balance. It doesn't anymore. Physical. F-Y-Z-I-C-A-L. It works.
Follow the red, white, and new to Shorkey Kia's Memorial Day Super Sale. New 25 Kia Sportage LX or the new 25 Kia Seltos LX. Your choice, only $199 per month for 24 months with $29.95 due at signing. At Shorkey Kia, you get it all, including 2 years of prepaid maintenance and $500 more for your trade. PA's #1 volume Kia dealer, locations in North Huntingdon and Wexford. ShorkeyKia.com. Call 1-855-410-4037 for complete details on all offers and terms.
I talk about from the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser. Ellen, what's up, my friend?
All right, thank you very much, Marty. We are looking out over the intersection of... We have Steubenville Pike here in Robinson Township, taking us a minute to get our bearings there as we look out live with the PennDOT cameras. This is in Robinson Township, Steubenville Pike at the intersection with Lorish Road. So we're watching as crews are moving around at this intersection, scene of an earlier accident. We're starting to see some of the vehicles depart the scene, including some of the vehicles involved on flatbed wreckers and things. But you have very tied up traffic as you're trying to exit northbound 79 for this intersection. This intersection very close to the I-79 interchange. Also heavy traffic on Noblestown Road as you at Steubenville Pike as you come toward that intersection, heading toward town. So do keep that in mind as you're traveling there. Parkway West inbound is slow for you right around the runaway truck sand pile. You'll line up on the Parkway East solidly at Edgewood, Swissvale. With AAA Traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today with a shower and thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Then partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog forming, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
I talk about UPMC all the time and how my life was saved there. Now my sister's there. We both have had extensive treatment at Hillman Cancer Center. They spend their days and nights trying to keep you alive. It's a magnificent facility with magnificent people dedicated to one thing, saving your life. UPMC, life-changing, life-saving information.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
All right, halfway through the week. Let's get going here. We'll get to the weekend before we know it. It's a Wednesday, 2 to 6. Colin Dunlap with the KDKA.
We have this pizza that comes in here from Slice every week. It's my man Rico. It's absolutely delicious. Not the point. But it gets here like 11:30, and this herd of cattle, employees go by the window. And half of them tell me they're on diets, and they come past with like a 6-foot stack of za and go back to their desk and eat it like one of those flesh-eating bacteria. The beauty of the VMix, which is a video feed, is that I can see the next guest, and my man Lance is listening to me tell this story, and he's laughing because he knows it's true. What's up, brother?
It is funny because I've taken a pepperoni roll or two out of there, bro, if I'm being honest. So, and that accident Ellen just talked about is right down the hill from our office, so it's pretty bad down there right now.
All right, so he is honestly the smartest man I've ever met when it comes to this sort of info. Lance O'Brien with MediConnect. All right, brother. You heard Denise, and the numbers are daunting. I mean, these pharmacies are closing at historic numbers. What the hell do you tell your people to do?
Yeah, so, I mean, again, Walgreens 1,200, CVS 900, Rite Aid bankruptcy. And I think, Marty, it's important before that, think about the moms and pops that started closing, right? You go through all the neighborhoods of Western PA, and there used to be this and that, and they're gone. And the first question is, I want to answer the question for sure, but the first question is why? Right? Why are all of them closing? I think there's three big reasons. First one is the pharmacies aren't getting as much reimbursement, as they need from the insurance carrier.
Excellent
So, that's difficult, right, on them. And then you've got the rising costs that are in conjunction with that. And then there's more online competition. It's actually not a whole heck of a lot different than we're seeing in the retail space in general, right, where more people are doing things online, and it's hurting the brick and mortars, and it's true of the pharmacy world as well. So, it's really difficult. So to answer the question.
And hold on, you forgot the big box, the Walmarts and the Costcos too are crushing them.
Well, that's the answer right there, buddy. You asked me where do we send them?
Oh.
And you answered your own question. I don't even need to be here today,
oh, wow.
right? The big thing with, like, you got Walmart, you got Giant Eagle. I literally got a call. You texted me and said, hey, can you come on early today?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, happy to. I got a call from 10:44 this morning from a gentleman named Bill right here in the Crafton area. He said, my Rite Aid is closing down. What do I do? Yeah. Right? And he said, I'm thinking about going to Giant Eagle. And I was like, well, that's a safe bet. And I do want to build out on that in a minute. But you've got your Giant Eagles, your Costcos, your Walmarts. Why are they still holding strong, Marty? It's because they have the ability to diversify, right? They're not just bringing mostly prescription drugs. They have all different other items that they're selling so that they can kind of bring some balance.
Cash flow.
So if you're looking for a place to have safety with your medications, now again, you're going to deal with more traffic.
Uh-huh. But that's it, right? You got to go where you trust.
That's really the answer. That's the answer, bro. Like now again, there's another piece to it where when we sit down and we meet with somebody and we look at all their prescriptions and we identify whether it's a standalone prescription drug plan or it's a Medicare Advantage plan, we want to make sure that the plan that covers their prescriptions best, they're going to a preferred pharmacy. So let me just really quickly explain this. There's three types of pharmacies when it comes to your prescriptions. There's non-network pharmacies. Never want to go to a non-network pharmacy because you're going to pay the full cash price.
Whoa.
Right? Then you've got a standard pharmacy. So a standard pharmacy accepts the insurance that you have, but in that pharmacy, you're going to pay an elevated rate. So here's an example. With a tier 1 medication with one company, you might pay $15 at a standard pharmacy for that tier 1 medication. If you're going to a preferred pharmacy, it would be $0.
Oh.
So what we're always trying to do is make sure that when we align them with a company, then we get them into a preferred pharmacy.
Is it something I could call a pharmacy and find out if they're a preferred pharmacy, and how would I do that?
It's a little harder that way. It's actually easier to do it the other way from the carrier, right? The carrier is going to be able to, the insurance carrier is going to be able to tell you easier, these are the pharmacies that we're preferred with. And a lot of times it is the grocery chains and the big box retailers.
To answer your point, when I've been at Hillman to get medications, they'll say, where's your pharmacy? I'll say Giant Eagle and Cochrane. They'll say, boom, they're preferred. Bam, right?
You got it. Pretty easy then, because, it's the big box and usually the grocery stores.
Yeah.
So like in Central PA where they have Weiss and Giant, those are preferred pharmacies generally with all the carriers because it's easy for them to hold those contracts, Marty.
This is a business that's exploding for Giant Eagle. They'll do $40 million in scripts this year. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Because of what you said? Is that why?
Yeah, so again, rising costs, they're getting more companies because they have more preferred pharmacies, right? So there's more access for them. So it goes back to it. And I hate giving this answer, but it's the truth. It's the big guys crushing the little guys.
It's true.
And even the big boxes that specialize in this, like the Walgreens, the CVS's, the Rite Aids of the world.
And it's tough. I don't know if you were listening. Like Patrick just sent a note. The closest big box for Burgettstown is Robinson or Weirton. It's a pain in the ass.
It is. And that's where
old folks can't figure out how to sign up. I'm not being hateful, but they have a hard time with anything involving something to be done on the internet. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Yep. Yeah, we see it all day, every day, right? Because that's the age group that we're always working with. And, we'll assist in helping them sign up. But then what the heck do you do when you need something in an emergency, right?
Oh.
That you can't always get everything online because, you know, you're going to have times where you need to go to a brick and mortar.
Man, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's even if you go online or you get into some delivery system and we're partnered with some good delivery systems, there's still going to be times you're going to need to go to a brick.
You know, my man, this goes back to the difficulty of growing these small towns. They don't have daycare centers. They don't have proper emergency rooms. They don't have maternity wards. Now they don't have pharmacies. You know what I'm saying? And so you're a young couple. You move into a small town. You're like, damn, we got nothing, honey.
The little guy's getting crushed. It's sad, kind of, when you think about it. Not kind of, it is sad.
And he made a really valid point. In an emergency situation, you're screwed. So the folks in Burgettstown, Patrick, would have to drive to Robinson or Weirton, right?
Yeah, if I was looking to see, like, if Walmart is their preferred, if that's where they have to go, the closest for Burgettstown is Robinson or Weirton.
Wow.
And that's where your Sam's, your Costco's, those type of things are, too.
Man. Lance O'Brien, my brother.
So,
thanks for the advice,
makes it
man.
tough. I'm interested to see what the executive order that was signed yesterday, because we had that discussion a month ago, Marty, about how we're paying about 40 to 50 times more than other countries. I'm interested to see how this impacts it if they can actually get it to happen.
Yeah, call us back at 1:30. Can you do that again? Can we grab you again?
Sure.
All right, man. Because I want to get into that, too. But this is kind of an emergency.
Okay.
You stepped up and hit another home run. Thanks, brother.
You're welcome, man. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
I hope Denise was listening. We can't fix it, but we can give you some options, my dear. From the P.J. Fitzpatrick Home Improvement Traffic Center, AAA Traffic, powered by Bowser, Ellen Gamble. What's up?
Thanks, Marty. So things are getting a little bit better in Robinson Township as we're looking out live over the intersection of Steubenville Pike at Lorish Road. That is just off of the I-79 interchange at Moon Run Route 60. So as we've been watching here for the past couple of minutes, crews are starting to depart the scene. We do still have some folks on scene. We still have some police there, some flashing lights, some restrictions, a wrecker trying to get a larger vehicle out of the way. But traffic is finally moving through that area a little bit better. You might still find some delays if you travel there, so certainly do leave some extra time or just steer clear for the time being. Parkway West inbound is backing for you right around the runaway truck sand pile as you try to fit into the Fort Pitt tunnels outbound toward the airport. A decent commute on the Parkway West right now. Parkway East inbound 376 is slow between Edgewood, Swissvale, and the Squirrel Hill tunnels. With AAA traffic, I'm Ellen Gamble on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
You know what's special about Oakmont Bakery, along with everything we talk about all the time? They sit down with you face to face and design a cake for you for your wedding. They had 17 wedding cakes last Saturday. Big ones. It's a special place, man, Oakmont. Handmade, homemade, custom cakes. Special cakes. Big cakes, small cakes. Cakes you've never seen before. Oakmont Bakery, it's amazing.
Don't know who to trust? Go with the sure thing. PJ Fitzpatrick has been your trusted roofer for 45 years. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and backed all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. The PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free consultation this month to save thousands. Plus, they have a variety of financing offers that work with any budget. Don't wait. Check them out online at trustpj.com. That's trustpj.com.
Be a part of something new, exciting, and totally Pittsburgh. Join the inaugural Rockin' Regatta at Pittsburgh Brewing Company June 7th and 8th. A brand new summer celebration packed with live music, river racing by Three Rivers Outboarding, local food, family fun, and more. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghbrewing.com/events.
Adventure awaits, and the 2025 Subaru Outback Premium is ready at Bowser Subaru to take you wherever you want to go. Take home a 2025 Subaru Outback Premium, VIN number S32-598, from Bowser Subaru and get 3.9% APR for 63 months. Don't wait. Visit Bowser Subaru today and take advantage of this limited time offer. Tax, title, and fees not included. Dealer doc fee of $477 applies with credit approval and financing through SMFL. See Bowser Subaru for complete details. Offer ends May 31st. Log on to BowserSubaru.com, or better yet, visit Bowser Subaru and take a test drive. Now that's the power of Bowser. BowserSubaru.com. Bowser Subaru, Route 51 South on top of the hill.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah with the elder law firm of Zachariah Brown. You know, every day I get a call from somebody because they have a loved one in the nursing home. They lost their house. They lost all their money. And they are in trouble, and that's when they call. Why do they call us? Because we can help. The better call to make, though, is to call ahead of time. As soon as you have a loved one going into a nursing facility, call us immediately, and we'll help take care of you. Zachariah Brown, 724-942-6200, or PittsburghElderLaw.com.
And now for a business news update from the Pittsburgh Business Times. I'm managing editor Mike Larson. Module, a Garfield-based sustainable housing developer, is pursuing its biggest project yet at Hazelwood Green. Company executives presented a new proposal to build out a new 3-story apartment project to be bookended by 2 new 5-story multifamily projects by Trek Development Group. Module's project would be developed in conjunction with Trek's plans, sharing a parking lot and a driveway, and with Trek expected to manage Module's units, which are expected to be 1 and 2 bedrooms. Module plans to make the apartments available at rent of 80% to 120% of the area median income. Also, a local banking veteran with prior experience at First Commonwealth Bank in Pittsburgh has returned to the company as the new business banking team leader for Metro Pennsylvania. Benito Rivera returns to First Commonwealth following 8 years at Northwest Bank, where he was most recently Senior Vice President and Regional Commercial Relationship Manager. For more on these stories and other local business news, log on to PittsburghBusinessTimes.com. I'm Mike Larson.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I worry about America in small town, rural America, because of what we're talking about here today. Patrick, what was the town you were saying if they want to get their scripts? Were you just naming?
Well, I was looking at Ford City.
Yeah.
So Ford City, their Rite Aid's closing. And, if you're thinking, oh, my Rite Aid's closing, but there's one in Katanning, I'll just go down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
That one's closing too.
Oh, no.
So they've got to pick between, there's 2 or 3 small local pharmacies. And
they hope they have coverage and hope they have their script.
Exactly. The only thing that's in their benefit there, unlike Burgettstown, there is like a Walmart with a pharmacy in Katanning.
But even that's a haul.
It is.
There's this tectonic shift in America, and I know you folks know this because we talk about it. Everybody wants to live outside of a city, but when you do that, you have no hospital with the maternity ward. You have no emergency room. And some of these counties don't have one daycare center. I'm not kidding. Now all the grocery stores are closing because people have their stuff mailed to them or whatever. These grocery stores operate in a margin of, you don't want to believe me, but it's less than 2% profit, most of them. And then these pharmacies are going down the tubes, man. leaving folks screwed. And it's tough. So imagine you're 80 years old, and you always went down the street to the pharmacy. That's gone. And as Patrick says, then the other one's gone in the next town and the next town. And you don't know what the hell delivery is through the internet? Man, it's tough. Phil, go ahead.
Oh, Marty.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I can just give you a basic example with myself. I've been on testosterone replacement for like 11 years. It's a form you kind of wipe under your armpit.
Yeah, same. I got the same thing. Yeah, same thing. Yep.
Yeah, the copay is varied anywhere from like 30, 40, 50 or so. And when I had it on my employer's insurance, which I carried until end of last year, via Cobra, I've gotten $30 copay for 4 bottles, 80-day supply.
Yep.
And what I did was before I picked up UPMC plan, which I'm on until I start Medicare in a couple months, I asked John Eagle, humor me and tell me what my copay would be. And they said, well, it would be $300.
Whoa.
And so what I did was I filled it just before the end of the year, which gave me 80 days to play with. And then I contacted and went to Blueberry Pharmacy in Westview.
Yeah, they're cool.
And I asked them, what would my cash price be to do it without insurance, just the script? He said $143.
Whoa.
So what I'm probably going to be doing, and I'll probably continue getting it from them once I start Medicare, because the reimbursement for testosterone on Medicare is very, very iffy depending on how it's phrased and your coverage and so forth. But, from them, I think you have a membership fee and a couple bucks to ship it. So even if you say you're paying $150 for every 80-day supply, that's more than deductible, but that's half the deductible what I pay.
This is the dilemma now. This is the heavy lifting you have to go through just to be able to afford something. And this is the landscape, and it's very frustrating. And I offer few solutions to folks because usually we can come up with something brilliant, but not with this. I'm a basic guy, and I go to Giant Eagle, and it's a half mile away, and I've never been turned down for a script and never paid a copay like that, ever. In fact, a lot of the stuff that I take, it's free because of the pharmacy and the setup and blah, blah, blah. But for many folks living in rural communities, they're screwed, and it's depressing. I've seen everywhere I drive now, these pharmacy chains are shutting down. And even the ones that are open, man, you go in there and you're like...
the little things.
You go in there and you're like, whoa, there's nothing left. It's kind of sad. Real sad.
Judge Michelle Santacola is running for a seat on the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. With decades of legal experience and currently serving as magisterial district judge, Michelle Santacola has always applied fairness and integrity to the thousands of cases she has presided over. She is highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association and widely endorsed by various labor organizations.
I'm Judge Michelle Santacola. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by Friends of Michelle Santacola.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
I love Diamonds Direct. You know it, right? Mother's Day is coming up. Come on. Flowers fade. Jewelry doesn't. They do amazing stuff at Diamonds Direct. They'll design it for you. Come on. Diamond studs, pendants, you name it. From $500 necklaces to $500,000 diamonds. And check this out. Book an appointment now. Get $100 off your purchase. Diamonds Direct. It's right behind the Ross, right there at the Ross Park Mall, right behind it on McKnight Road. Check it out. Diamonds Direct.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this football season. The Black and Gold are headed to Ireland, and so can you with AAA and me. Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us for a 4-night trip September 25th through the 29th. Includes round-trip airfare, airport, hotel, and game transfers. Your stay at the Sandy Mount Hotel. Reserved game ticket at Croke Park Stadium and more. From $55.36 per person, double occupancy. Here we go to the Emerald Isle for the game with AAA. Call 1-800-848-1238 for details and reservations.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
69 and overcast at 12 o'clock. I'm Paul Rasmussen. Severe flooding was reported Tuesday after heavy rains in Somerset County. Residents in low-lying areas were ordered to evacuate as the Castleman River was rising rapidly. Myersdale Mayor Shane Smith declared a state of emergency.
We are seeing flooding in the majority of the houses in town, some even as high as the first floor.
Homeowner Butch Lepley talked about that flooding with KDKA TV.
I think Barb said we had just about 4.5 inches of rain today, and pretty bad flooding.
Somerset County water rescue teams were called in, but there were no injuries reported. Federal and state emergency management officials are expected there today. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch in effect through 10 p.m. Excessive rainfall from slow-moving storms this afternoon and evening could produce flash flooding in Fayette and Westmoreland counties, especially in higher elevations. Flash flooding on Tuesday also forced evacuations at several schools in western Maryland. Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
5 inches of rain had the North Branch Potomac River spilling over its banks and into Western Port Elementary School. Fourth grader William Wade says everyone moved to the second floor.
The first floor had been flooded all the way to the ceiling.
His mother, Allie Wade, is grateful.
The first responders and the faculty of that school were phenomenal because I'm sure they were just as scared.
Over the border in Albemarle County, Virginia, a 12-year-old boy is missing after he was swept away by a flood-swollen creek. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
On Tuesday in Harrisburg, a Republican-led Senate committee rejected a bill to legalize recreational marijuana less than a week after it passed the Democratic-led House. The Law and Justice Committee vote was 7-3. The GOP objects to having the Liquor Control Board run stores to sell recreational pot. Also, Pennsylvania voters would get more than a week of early voting, and county election officials would have more time to start processing mail-in ballots under an election reform proposal passed by the House. It passed by a single vote and was sent to the Republican majority Senate. And there was no action on a voter ID bill. The House Majority Leader sidelined it. Penn State's board is recommending 7 satellite campus closings now, including 3 in western PA. Here's News Radio KDKA's Tamira Rush.
Their proposed cuts include Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango. The confirmation comes months after Penn State officials began contemplating a closure plan in response to declining enrollment, a projected drop in Pennsylvania's college-age population, and a lack of state funding. This list has come to light before a final vote by the Board of Trustees, and the university pushed back against media reports listing the 7 campuses to be closed. A statement on university's website says, until the board votes on the closures, nothing is final. If approved, over 1,100 students at the Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango campuses would be affected. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 5 points at 42,145. The Nasdaq up 127 points. The S&P is ahead 10. KDKA Sports, the Pirates and Mets will finish the 3-game series in New York tonight. Bailey Falter starts for the Bucks, and the Steelers' full regular season schedule will be released tonight by the NFL.
The news is brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick. Need a new roof or just want to repair a small leak? Trust PJ.com. KDKA Radio News Time, 12:03. Time to call Goldberg, Persky, and White Attorneys at Law, 1-800-266-7539, or visit gpwlaw.com. 69 and overcast in Pittsburgh with the AccuWeather forecast ahead.
Hey, Paul Alexander here. It's officially crunch time. The 4th of July is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Backyard barbecues, family, friends, and the start of a summer of the new you. How would you feel if you dropped 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180 weight loss? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Forget challenges. This is about taking control with a proven program that works. It's attainable, doable, and easy. I did it. I lost 35 pounds in 6.5 weeks. Let me tell you what. Life is much better without carrying around all that extra baggage. This isn't wishful thinking. It's real results without gimmicks or medication. Just smart eating, simple guidance, and a clear path to success. Make this 4th of July your personal Independence Day from unwanted pounds and keep it off thanks to a free support for life. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com, because when the fireworks go off this year, you're going to have something even greater to celebrate.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, "Have a great trip," keep on saying, "You too." And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today, with a shower and thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Then partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog forming, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
2D Mechanical Systems, Pittsburgh's HVAC, plumbing, and electric leaders, is a family business that I truly admire. 2D culture is built on ethics, service, and making a difference in our community. 2D Mechanical Systems, they're the people you want working in your home.
Where Pittsburgh comes to talk. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
We had the whole city fired up yesterday about potholes. And it started with this video and these photographs I put on social media of these potholes in front of my the Shuli's Pizza joint on 5th Avenue in Oakland. And they threw sandbags in the potholes. And then it continued with insiders telling us the public works folks are getting high in their trucks, and that rather than working some of them, some of them. There's very, very few. Most of these guys work their tails off. And that on occasion, some of these lazy employees, and again, most of them are kicking tail, will dump the asphalt somewhere random rather than laying it. And it's very frustrating because the city has very little money to pave roads or streets. And the city doesn't seem to want to hear from anyone outside of the city about a better plan or a better way. And we head into this pothole season with more potholes than I've seen in a hell of a long time, man. A hell of a long time. So I had to grab an insider who knows this business. My man Art, what's up, brother?
Good morning.
Well.
This conversation.
I'm so glad you jumped in on this, my brother. This frustrates the heck out of you when you hear this big mess in the city, does it not, sir?
It's a big mess everywhere, but the city seems to be having a real problem.
Give us some of your background.
It's unnecessary.
Give us your background so people understand the context. Sorry, buddy.
I'll start with during the 1970s, Koppers Company in Pittsburgh, which no longer exists. It's been broken up many times.
Sure.
But Koppers Company was one of the largest paving companies in the country. One of the largest suppliers of aggregate, and they were a major supplier of liquid asphalt. And they were approached as a Cold War effort by the Department of Defense to see if they could extend the life of asphalt.
Oh.
And they succeeded, but they never marketed the material. They only supplied it to the Department of Defense.
Oh.
I will not go into anything, to get my own plug or anything like that. But the material became available in the early 1980s and brought to the marketplace. And it's been used all over the country, all over the world to extend the life. The real problem that you're seeing now is years ago, the Federal Highway Administration, the Department of Transportation, came out with SuperPave. And they told everybody this pavement was going to last 25 years.
Hold on a second. What'd you say, Patrick? Disaster? It was a disaster? What, it didn't work? Huh? It didn't work?
No,
Massive failures. Massive failures. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, man. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay.
Go ahead,
they said it was going to last 25 years. At the time, what they were replacing was called a Marshall mix design, which they were getting 13 years out of. They said they were going to extend the life of the pavement. It didn't work, and everybody had already started to budget for 25 years. Less money was going to become needed for paving. The next thing we saw was you've seen these machines go in and mill the pavement?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Well, they feed that back in as part of recycling and being environmentally conscious and everything else. What you're doing is you're putting old, worn-out asphalt back in as a percentage of the mix. And so the life of that SuperPave went from never the 25 years, but it kept decreasing with each time they recycled older and older asphalt in with it. Aging is faster. If you look at new pavement, Marty, you're a little younger than me. Actually, you're a lot younger. But anyway, you remember when they paved a street, it was black for a year, maybe two. Now, maybe just months. It oxidizes much faster, and they can't keep it lasting longer. They mill it again. However, there are ways of replenishing oils, and the city of Pittsburgh had the opportunity on two occasions, once with Koppers Company and Pittsburgh Penguin, that is in the business, to try the material, even try test patterns of the material to see if it would make a difference in their pavement. The material that was offered, as I said, has been used around the world very successfully. But the city of Pittsburgh just said no.
Why?
They didn't want to even bother putting.
Hold on, Art.
Why
would they do that? Yeah.
There's three reasons.
Okay.
There's 3 reasons: ignorance, incompetence, and in my opinion, the third is corruption. There's no other reason. Why would you not have somebody come in and put down maybe 25 feet,
I don't
put some
know,
cones around it, and observe it?
My God.
I sent you a list of the people that sat in on that meeting.
Yeah, the Department of Public Works Assistant Director, Department of Public Works Construction Manager, and Chief Operating Officer. Yeah, I knew all these guys, including Guy Costa. Yeah.
Yeah, they just turned it completely down. And once again, this material was designed, created in Pittsburgh, and used worldwide. The other thing about it is they've been approached also to prevent damage to their Portland cement concrete structures, bridge decks, everything else. They totally ignored that. That's
Why?
another.
Come on, Art. Why?
I don't want to get sued.
Damn.
But as I said, there's a combination of the 3. One of the 3 reasons, or a combination of the above.
That's amazing.
At any point in time, I'd love to have you meet a couple of the people, just off air, and sit down there and discuss completely what can be done. But they won't. With the way it's wearing out, faster and faster, they will never catch up unless they take a different approach. And the one thing you keep hearing, you're hearing potholes. Well, that's the freeze-thaw cycle. Everybody asks the question why, and they say freeze-thaw cycle.
Right on.
Ask what they can do to prevent the freeze-thaw cycle.
Move to Florida?
They can't. No. Prevent water penetration, which they can do, and also slow down the oxidation from the UVs. But the process can be done. It's been proven.
Wow.
Oh, and finally, get back to different qualities of mayors. Short Bob O'Connor story. And what a gentleman.
Love them.
Before, Bob O'Connor had planned to go down to Concord, North Carolina. And it was for a project that could have been done in Pittsburgh in the racing end, but he was also going to be looking at almost a 15-year history of the use of this type of rejuvenating around Concord, North Carolina. He had planned to go in, meet with a gentleman by the name of Bruton Smith and Les Harris, and look at what they had been doing to preserve their asphalts. And unfortunately, he went into the hospital, and we all know how tragic that was, not only for his family, but for the city.
Oh, my gosh, I did not know that. He was an amazing man. Art, I love this. I'm going to call you after the show, and we're going to connect and do more. What I love him is he's an insider. What I love him is he tells the truth. And what I love him is Art points out deficiencies in government, in arrogance in bureaucracy, and the failure as a result of both. It's great stuff, my brother.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models. So it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
My daughter wants to go to law school. I was talking to her about the Perry Calder law firm. From top to bottom, superstar lawyers. And I mean this. Handpicked and trained by JP, my boy, John Perry. Amazing team. Unprecedented results. Mike Calder, Renee Meadow, Jennifer Webster, Andrew Rothy, Alex and Trevor Perry. Caring lawyers who are feared by doctors and insurance companies alike. Perry Calder Law Firm. Folks, this is an amazing law firm with amazing results. Check it out.
Leading with support and a proven commitment to public safety represent how Sheriff Kevin Krause effectively serves Allegheny County. Paul Martino here supporting the re-election of Allegheny County Sheriff Kevin Krause. Kevin's respect and trust from the labor community and unanimous endorsements by city, county and state, public safety, and first responders are key reasons to re-elect him as sheriff.
I'm Sheriff Kevin Krause. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by friends of Kevin Krause for sheriff.
Magnificent May savings at Coons Market.
St. Louis style spare ribs, $3.29 a pound. Whole seedless watermelons, $3.99 each. And San Giorgio pasta, 12 to 60 ounce boxes, 99 cents each. Come see us at Coons.
UPMC, life-saving, life-changing information. Amazing.
CBS Eye on Veterans from ConnectingVets.com. Army veteran Brad Taylor is a former covert missions team leader and a best-selling author. In his latest book, Into the Gray Zone, he depicts Chinese-backed terrorists in India that are conducting violent missions to prevent world access to rare earth minerals. But his plots are always rooted in real-world news.
Why on earth would India kill somebody, send a hit team to Canada to kill somebody? And I didn't think much of it. Well, then a month later, the U.S. Justice Department arrested another guy and said, this guy is trying to kill the Sikh separatists in America. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I started doing the research on it, which kind of evolved into the plot.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
So I have a bunch of friends in the car business. As you know, we have a bunch of friends that have their own businesses. And the car guys I know, I got phone calls from the big manufacturers overseas. And they were told that this is actually the whole conundrum with this tariffs and what the hell is going to happen based on what happened with China the other day. They were told late last week that the new stickers on the new cars would come in about $2,000 higher. And the car guys are flipping out because folks will see that real quick, and $2,000's a big chunk. We don't know what's going to happen. There's so much ebb and flow to this, and there's so much change with Trump. I'm not disrespecting. I'm just telling you, the guy's random. And if you own and or run a business, you don't know what the hell's going to happen next. For instance, my boy Billy's mom went to buy a television on Amazon. Electronics, all made overseas, all of it. Amazon said delivery in 2 days. She buys it. They say you can't get it for over a month. That's what that is. No, that's clearly what that is. I don't know where we're headed. I don't know what's going to happen. There's this crazy rush now because the tariffs were lowered to buy all this Chinese product. There's this crazy ebb and flow to this, depending on this so-called trade war and how it affects pricing. So everybody I know, the big grocery stores, all their imports from Mexico, expecting to see a big jump in those costs. It's hard to know anymore what you're going to pay. And Billy's right. People are ordering product that's supposed to come in from China. Now they're told, we'll see in a month when the tariff drops. Or when we get the new product that's now in a Chinese warehouse. The other thing that's kind of weird is the price of eggs. Took the biggest drop in the last month in like 40 years. I'm curious as to what you're paying for eggs. I'm curious as to what you're paying right now for eggs. 866-391-1020. 866-391-1020. Meantime, call me. What are you paying for eggs? I want to take a few calls. Karen, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hi. Oh, boy, I paid, I think, $7 for 18 eggs the other day.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't come down?
Not where I was, no.
Wow.
But what I was actually calling about, I wanted to comment quickly about what you were talking about earlier about the potholes in downtown, not having any money in the city.
Of course.
So I'm just curious, with the NFL draft coming to the city next year, and, you know, we're trying to put on our best dressed, appearance for everyone out there, how will they have money to dress up the city if they don't even have money to take care of the potholes downtown? I know I went over the Fort Pitt Bridge the other day and went down West Carson Street. There's just trash everywhere. I mean, the city looks really bad.
It's grimy. Are they getting some money from the state? They're getting some money in grants. They're already doing a bunch of construction downtown around Market Square. They're getting some money from the NFL because, yes, they'll clean up what they can. It's kind of obnoxious, really. What they'll do is, it's kind of like what you do when you have a part of your house, right? You hide stuff, right? You put a thin layer of paint on the cracks and hope no one sees the mess. But there's a major shortage for infrastructure around this area. There's a major shortfall of any money for. There's no money in the paving budget for the next 2 or 3 years. So what you're saying is unbelievably relevant and poignant and spot on. But they're hoping for grant money from the state and for money from the NFL, quite frankly, because they don't have it.
Well, like my mother-in-law would say, it's like putting lipstick on a pig.
It is, my dear.
It doesn't look good now.
It is an oink oink if you ever had one, and your observation is spot on. But with all due respect, and no disregard for what she's saying, because she's right, every city does it, quite frankly. They put on a show. They did it in Detroit. You saw that thing. And it's a hell of an opportunity. And Buffalo did it. They paint everything. That's what they do, man. That's what we're going to do. But it doesn't fix the problem, and that we have no money to pay streets in Pittsburgh right now. And the pothole situation is a friggin' joke, as you probably know if you drive around town a lot. Great phone call. Hey, folks, Marty Griffin. It's May. It's spring. It's window time. Universal Windows Direct window time. Check out this amazing deal. Right now, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Whoa, half off. And check this out. Not a single payment, not one payment, no interest for 12 months. Universal Windows Direct. Amazing quality, amazing service. 412-545-6003.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your mornings. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends. Weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Cloudy and 71 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Paul Alexander. The county touts its first fully electric street sweeper in the U.S. News Radio KDK's Tamara Rush has the details.
The county transitioned to electric street sweepers as part of its efforts to reduce air pollution. Ann Lewis, executive director of Steel Rivers County of Governments, tells me the Elgin Broom Bear street sweeper is the first of its kind to be deployed anywhere in the U.S.
It's brand new technology that is both a fully electric chassis, which is the part that drives the truck, but also a fully electric engine on the back that works the sweeper unit.
Lewis says the units are out and about, so be on the lookout for them sweeping an area near you. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
The state attorney general's office has seized more than 400 gambling machines at bars, gas stations, and convenience stores in 12 counties, southwestern Pennsylvania. In a statement about the crackdown on games of chance, Attorney General Dave Sunday says the devices were essentially slot machines dressed up as skill games. Felony charges have been filed against two companies, Buffalo Skill Games and JJ Amusement, both operated by John Conley, who has prior federal gambling convictions. Tuesday in Harrisburg, a Republican-led Senate committee rejected a bill to legalize recreational marijuana less than a week after it passed the Democratic-led House. News Radio KDK's Paul Rasmussen has the story.
One GOP objection is having the Liquor Control Board run stores to sell recreational pot. Senator Devlin Robinson told KDK Radio's Rob Pratt he voted no because marijuana is on the federal government's list of Schedule I drugs.
So as you're going to buy this marijuana, you won't be able to use a debit card or a credit card in a state-run store.
Also, Pennsylvania voters would get more than a week of early voting, and county election officials would have more time to start processing mail-in ballots under an election reform proposal passed by the House. And there was no action on a voter ID bill. Paul Rasmussen, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 43 points. The NASDAQ is up 142. The S&P 500 is up 10 points. KDK Radio News Time is 12:32. Our next update at 1 o'clock. I'm Paul Alexander, and the voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
I have known Rob Pierce for years, and I mean years. And here's the deal. I'm going to give you an example. When I wanted to find a nursing home for someone I loved, I called Rob Pierce. Why? Because they have represented so many folks and protected them and chose the right nursing home and represented their families when someone they love was harmed. Robert Pierce and Associates. Man, he's been at it more than 30 years. 412-214-7477. Diet drugs, Ozempic, folks getting sick, folks getting violently ill. Boom. Rob Pierce and Associates represented them, fighting for them. Time after time, medical issues. product liability issues, nursing care issues. Rob Pierce and Associates, true professional, the best going. 412-214-7477. Rob Pierce and Associates.
This is Les Botkin of Botkin Family Wealth Management. Back in the 90s, I left my job as director of golf at Nevillewood to run a new golf course in Virginia. After that course opened, I was fired. I'd uprooted my family, and at 46, I was unemployed. My wife's brother offered me work at his biotech company in North Carolina to help get us through that time. Sunday nights, I took a Greyhound bus south and spent the week mopping floors, cleaning toilets, and filing. I came home on Friday wondering what I was going to do with my life. A friend encouraged me to consider the finance business. In a classroom of kids less than half my age at Duquesne University, I studied for my certified financial planner designation. It was humbling, but in time, with hard work and the encouragement of my wife Barb, I became successful in my life's new chapter. The day my children and I opened the doors to our family business was one of the best of my life. Most overnight successes take a long time. Mine certainly did. Learn more at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 412-556-BATH.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today. A shower and thunderstorm in parts of the area during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog developing, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit us in Robinson Town Center, in Cranberry Township, and now open in Morgantown.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
All right, halfway through the week. Let's get going here. We'll get to the weekend before we know it. It's a Wednesday, 2 to 6. Colin Dunlap with the KDK.
Well, here's a little learning, a little lesson in car buying. And I had to grab my boy, Dave Ross, who I love, from Bowser.
Good afternoon.
This actually happened to someone I'm very close with this week, and I had to get involved. And I wanted to tell you the story without naming names because it's kind of embarrassing. But someone came to me, their daughter's moving to California. They bought a car from a guy. Fine. And they paid cash. Fine. It's an Audi. It was used. It was like 12 years old. 104,000 miles. And by the way, I'm not judging anyone. I don't do deals like that. I go to people I trust, like Dave Ross here at Bowser. Water under the bridge. We all learn lessons. I'm hoping all of you can learn a lesson from this. And by the way, I'm not saying everyone's a scoundrel. I'm just saying you got to check your stuff out a little bit. So she pays cash for a car. It has 104,000 miles, which I wouldn't do. It's an Audi, and they're very expensive to fix, so I wouldn't do that either. And then she goes to get it looked at, and the Audi guys, which know what they're talking about, said, "Ma'am, yes, your car needs $16,000 of the work." Huh? Well, it hit the fan. She's in hysterics. She can't drive the car. She's crying. Her daughter's crying. Everyone's crying. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to kind of illuminate an issue that happens and bring my boy in who knows the business better than anyone ever known, Dave Ross from Bowser. What's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good.
This is kind of a lesson in the choices consumers make, right? I mean, right?
Well, yeah, especially when you get into the pre-owned side of our business, it's outside of a dealer, it's kind of buyer beware. And unfortunately, when things aren't that noticeable, people can go anywhere. They can go to Advanced Auto Parts or something like that and have them turn off a check engine light by just going in and clearing it. And eventually the problem will pop back up. And in this case, that probably was the case where someone went and had it cleared. They put the car up for sale, didn't drive it much. So when that other person started driving it, the problem arose. And then, right, you get into these cars nowadays with these turbos and supercharged engines because of gas consumption. It's not cheap to replace an engine. And in this case, that's what she was running into.
Hey, do me a favor. If you have a radio on there, do you mind turning down that music? Thanks, my man. It's gone. So he nailed it. This is why I love Dave. He's family to me, and the guy knows everything about cars. So a couple things that you said that are actually so relevant. If I go to a guy in the newspaper or on the internet, who cares, and I buy a car from them and I pay them cash, my man, the minute I drive away, I got no protection at all, do I, sir? None. Zero, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's a buyer beware state where when you have those transactions. So in most cases, I'm not saying buying from private party is bad because it's not, but I would ask that person, hey, do you mind if you let a mechanic look at the car or somebody with some knowledge about that can do it once over. Even if it costs you a couple $100 to do it, it's worth it. And like in this case, it costs thousands of dollars for not doing that.
This is actually, and again, I'm not accusing every citizen out there trying to sell a car of being a thief. And I'm not suggesting the guy who did this is a bad guy. But Dave knows the background here. I had to get involved. I had to talk about lawyers. I had to talk about going to civil court. And the truth of the matter is, my man Dave stepped up and had to try and get rid of this car at auction. This becomes a blank show, does it not, Dave?
Right.
Right? And on,
Yep.
and on top of that,
Absolutely.
it's an Audi, my man.
You could have got lawyers or anybody involved, and they would have just told you at that case. You could have done your due diligence before you did the transaction. You would have been stuck. Versus, it's different from a dealership standpoint. Obviously, we have reputations to uphold, and we have high standards as far as reconditioning cars here. So we do our due diligence to make sure we put out a good product because it's our name on the line. These individuals, they're just trying to avoid that process by selling things out themselves, or in this case where that person might have known they had a problem and they figured, well, I'll pass that problem on to somebody else. So
and then here's what happens. You had a young girl who sees a shiny car. It's an Audi. It's a turbo. Woo, cool looking. And they don't know squat about cars. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but this is true. Oh, wow, Mommy, this is nice. I like this. But they know nothing about cars. You said something. Can you go to a mechanic and say, here, my man, check this out thoroughly? Can you do that?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. As long as that person's fine with it. I have people do that to me here at the dealership, and I have certified mechanics all over the place.
Right.
And I mean, I always am fine with it because I have nothing to hide from our standpoint. But, at that point, if that person was like, no, I'm not quite sure about that, then that's where buyer beware comes in. You be aware of that because there's something that you're going to uncover that they don't want you to. But that's why we provide Carfaxes. We're transparent. We don't hide anything. And that way, when you leave here, you know what you're getting. But that's what you run into when you're doing things on the private market.
Dave Ross, who's also the auction guru, even you have gotten deals at auctions that didn't turn out to be good cars, but you have recourse, do you not, sir?
That's true. That's true. But on the other side, I've had customers trade in cars where we've missed things, and I take them to an auction and they come up and I get stuck.
You sure do.
I get in this. I'm in the same boat sometimes too, so it happens. But we have a little more easier way of recovering from that over time than a young person, or any person for that matter, who comes out of their pocket with some hard-earned money, and then next thing you know, they just flushed it down the toilet.
Literally, she was holding the bag on a car that needed $16,000 in repairs that she paid $8,000 in cash for, and was crying.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens a lot. She was in obviously a wreck, and Dave stepped in. Frankly, I had to go to small claims court. I had to talk to the guy who sold it to her, who was actually pretty decent about paying her $4,000 anyway, and then go from there. But the truth is,
okay,
you can't get excited about buying a car from a stranger, can you, sir?
You can, but just make sure you cover your bases. Make sure you check it out before you sign the check or hand the cash. Because at least with a check, you could have had maybe some recourse about stopping that payment. Right, cash, it's gone.
It's gone
when it's gone.
And even a hearing in small claims court would have taken 3 months. You don't need a lawyer, but it's a process. You can get $5,000, and even that's not $8,000. At the end of the day, my man Dave did backflips and got her into is it a Subaru? I apologize for not knowing that.
A Subaru, yes.
That she can drive until she dies and trust that car. And you got her certification or something on the car, right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
So my point is that she can take it somewhere and get it fixed, right?
Correct. So that way in her travels, if something does pop up, she has some coverage so she's not out there high and dry.
And I don't name names here because it is kind of embarrassing and they're kind of humiliated. And the guy who sold it to her seems like a good guy. I don't know, man. But the reason why I wanted to do this is because you got to be careful when you're buying cars. No one's an expert, so bring it to an expert. Right, Dave?
That's true. I mean, go somewhere where, like you said, you can trust, and you know that even if you pay a couple extra dollars more for it, that peace of mind is well worth it.
Unless you know cars, and I don't. I can barely turn the damn thing on.
Unless you know cars, and you can go around them. And if this was 30 years ago, I could probably get around some things. Nice. But now with all these computers, it's a lot. It's a lot to know.
Dave Ross, my brother, always the best. Thanks, my man.
All right, buddy. Take care.
$8,000 she was out, crying hysterically. It was awful.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
If you are new to Medicare and have questions, Aetna can help. Aetna has a Medicare Advantage plan that includes prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plan includes benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-833-771-3415 to learn more. A licensed agent will answer your call.
Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our DSMPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
So Carlos from Greater Pitt Tree Service is one of my boys and one of my good friends. And as we get through this insanity of that massive storm that brought down over 100,000 trees, call a guy you can trust. Carlos with Greater Pitt Tree Service. Call a guy who does the right thing every time. Carlos with Greater Pitt Tree Service. Call a guy that cares. He'll explain the insurance issues, explain the cost, the equipment they use, how long it's going to take, and he'll be there on time. 412-884-TREE, 412-884-TREE. Greater Pitt Tree Service, the best.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today.
Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResPGH.com.
So I'm getting old, duh. And my wife's getting older, not as old. And you start thinking about your estate and planning your estate and who gets what and what goes where. And I got to tell you something, it's not easy, the whole estate planning thing. And then long-term care and medical care and all these sorts of things that are very kind of confusing and convoluted and, quite frankly, a little intimidating. We went to my good friend who's now become a close friend, Julian Gray, from grayoutlaw.com. Sits you down in the office, talks to you like a friend who knows what the heck he's talking about, and then lays out a plan. And his staff is the best ever, the best in the country. And they give us this peace of mind. And they give us an estate plan that protects us and protects our children. GrayElderLaw.com. Magnificent, folks. 412-458-6000. 412-458-6000. GrayElderLaw.com. The best.
They call him Even Stevens for a reason. For a decade, Judge Craig Stevens delivered fair, balanced justice on the bench, presiding over 50,000 cases and serving more than 100 communities as a district judge. He's highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association for his integrity, temperament, and experience. When you want a judge who's even, fair, and right down the middle, remember Even Stevens. Vote Judge Craig Stevens for Court of Common Pleas, number 20 on the ballot in the primary on May 20th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Craig Stevens.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. This is something very special to me. I've been talking about Gunny's Ridge, a special place for veterans and first responders. You can honor a loved veteran or first responder with a fruit tree in the Honor Orchard of Gunny's Ridge. It's $122. The number 22 represents the number of veterans who take their lives each day. Gunny's Ridge is a special place. You must check it out at Gunny'sRidge.org. This Honor Orchard is a beautiful thing. Gunny'sRidge.org.
Judge Michelle Santacola is running for a seat on the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. With decades of legal experience and currently serving as magisterial district judge, Michelle Santacola has always applied fairness and integrity to the thousands of cases she has presided over. She is highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association and widely endorsed by various labor organizations.
I'm Judge Michelle Santacola. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by friends of Michelle Santacola.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Boeing scoring a massive multi-billion-dollar order for new jets from Qatar Airways, 160 in all, its biggest order ever. That deal announced this morning during President Trump's visit to Qatar's capital, Doha. It's one of many deals being made on the trip, most of them involving U.S. chip makers like NVIDIA and AMD and Saudi Arabia. Shares of Boeing right now a little bit higher elsewhere on Wall Street. Big gains in the tech sector, but the Dow is down about 0.1%. The NASDAQ up 0.75%. The S&P 500 up slightly. Shares of the Bay Area-based biotech firm Septerna are soaring up nearly 50%. It's partnering with Novo Nordisk, the maker of Wegovy and Ozempic, to work on a new weight loss and type 2 diabetes pill, not a shot. And hundreds of workers at unionized Starbucks shops walked off the job this week protesting the company's new dress code. There are hundreds more represented stores nationwide, so those walkouts could continue. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You hear all these commercials for judges. I like two of them, really big time. Julie Capone, really good prosecutor in the DA's office. High ethics, high standards. Really wants to do the right thing in terms of prosecuting criminals, putting people in jail. And Elon Zerb. Elon's a badass, quite frankly. You should see his resume. Drug cases, high-profile cases. And I think that they could work for this city. His bio is incredible. 26 years. He's been a prosecutor in the DA's office. Rules of evidence, criminal prosecution. He's had more than 400 cases before judges, 60 homicide trials. Come on. So 2 names. I don't get endorsements, nothing for this. I just believe that they'll do the right thing, not like some of these crackpot progressive judges. Julie Capone, and Elon Zur, Z-U-R for judge. I would vote for both of them. And I will vote for both of them. Because I don't live in the city. A couple of people say, why don't you run for mayor, big mouth? I don't live in the city. And I'm not qualified to further ruin Pittsburgh. I'm just not. It's interesting because over the years, because I have a high-profile job and a platform, people ask me to do different things. Why don't you run a restaurant? Really? Why don't I bankrupt the restaurant? Why do you sell real estate? Because I don't know anything about real estate. Why don't you run for office? Because I don't want to get my ass kicked every day. It's just. Oh, one more. Thank you, my man, for sending me that. Heather Schmidt Bresnahan. You're right. Heather Schmidt Bresnahan. Very good candidate. And in terms of county council, Mike Ambrazia, cool guy. A tech guy, robotics guy, Mount Lebanon guy. Look, man, I just want people to do the right thing. I have no horse in the race other than I want law and order. I want people to be put in jail. I want one of my boys, a lot of people have reached out to me about the video we cut, me and Patrick. Next week, we're going to go into these apartments, these crazy, insane, ridiculous apartments. You're going to see some crazy stuff. And it's more than 100,000 people now watch this video of us walking downtown. And one of my close friends who I love, and I've known him for almost 50 years, Jack Cavalier, I went to high school with him, says, what do we do? Because Jack cares. And he said, ain't nowhere to put them and nobody to treat them. We have to come up with something. They're human beings. It's the most relevant, poignant thing that anyone can say. And one of my boys who's a cop is the one who said, you got to walk downtown, and I did, and he was right. Everything smells like urine. You smell two things. You smell urine and weed. There was a mentally ill patient there. She was screaming and yelling, and she told me that, and she apologized and said, I don't get treatment. There was a drug addict kid. We met him, and he has no treatment. He looked like he was out of a movie. He was so dirty. It was apocalyptic. He was so dirty. No shoes. Walking around downtown, no shoes. Parking lot attendant who just walks up to me and says, hey, Marty, I just got beat with a pipe and hit in the head by a homeless person. It's horrible, man. And they all said the same thing. They can't get treatment. They can't get housing. Everybody says, what do you do with them? I said, arrest them, help them, treat them. Not in that order. One of my boys who's much smarter than I, is a true insider, he's been a cop forever, says, move the services for them outside of the city. Limit. Move them somewhere else. The reason why they're all downtown is because they get services down there. Might be too late for them. You go into cities. We were in Tampa, St. Pete for a week. We did not see one tent, not one homeless person, not one mentally ill person, and not one drug addict. Why? They handle it differently, and they handle it better. And the tourists that come to their downtown don't see that massive problem that we have in Pittsburgh. And they're a sunshine city, so they have more homeless. No one seems to be able to wrap their arms around how the hell to solve this problem. And at the end of the day, it breaks your heart. The woman that had the psychotic episode told me she has a daughter somewhere. Huh? Somewhere. And doesn't know what she's going to do with the rest of her life. And she was 36 and lives on the streets in Pittsburgh on a blanket covered in dirt and filth and grime. We treat dogs better. If there were puppies running around the streets of downtown Pittsburgh, you would go berserk to save those puppies. But there are people doing the same, and we just dismiss them. And we can't. It's a big, big deal, folks. And it's sad to see.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Follow the red, white, and new to Shorkey Kia's Memorial Day Super Sale. New 25 Kia Sportage LX or the new 25 Kia Seltos LX. Your choice, only $199 per month for 24 months with $29.95 due at signing. At Shorkey Kia, you get it all, including 2 years of prepaid maintenance and $500 more for your trade. PA's #1 volume Kia dealer, locations in North Huntington and Wexford. ShorkeyKia.com. Call 1-855-410-4037 for complete details on all offers and terms.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Cloudy and 74 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Paul Alexander. News brought to you by PJ Fitzpatrick. 45 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews. TrustPJ.com. Tuesday in Harrisburg, a Republican-led Senate committee rejected a bill legalizing recreational marijuana less than a week after it passed through the Democratic-led House. News Radio KDK's Paul Rasmussen has the story.
One GOP objection is having the Liquor Control Board run stores to sell recreational pot. Senator Devlin Robinson told KDK Radio's Rob Pratt he voted no because marijuana is on the federal government's list of Schedule I drugs.
So as you're going to buy this marijuana, you won't be able to use a debit card or a credit card in a state-run store.
Also, Pennsylvania voters would get more than a week of early voting, and county election officials would have more time to start processing mail-in ballots under an election reform proposal passed by the House. And there was no action on a voter ID bill. Paul Rasmussen, News Radio KDKA.
Penn State's Board of Trustees is recommending the closure of 7 satellite campuses, including 3 here in western Pennsylvania. News Radio KDK's Tamara Rush has details.
Their proposed cuts include Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango. The confirmation comes months after Penn State officials began contemplating a closure plan in response to declining enrollment, a projected drop in Pennsylvania's college-age population, and a lack of state funding. This list has come to light before a final vote by the Board of Trustees, and the university pushed back against media reports listing the 7 campuses to be closed. A statement on university's website says, until the board votes on the closures, nothing is final. If approved, over 1,100 students at the Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango campuses would be affected. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch in effect through 10 p.m. Excessive rainfall from slow-moving storms this afternoon and evening could produce flash flooding in Fayette and Westmoreland counties especially in the higher elevations. About 4,000 Duquesne Light customers were without service overnight. The utility says the first outages were reported shortly after 6 p.m. Several poles were broken with wires down in Ross Township. One report indicates transformers exploded in multiple locations in the Ross area. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 92 points, the Nasdaq up 109. The S&P 500 is up 2 points. KDK Sports, Pirates and Mets tonight in New York. First pitch at 7:10. KDK Radio News Time is 1:03. Time to call Goldberg, Persky, and White, attorneys at law, 1-800-266-7539, or visit gpwlaw.com. Right now it's cloudy and 73 degrees in Pittsburgh. Your AccuWeather forecast is next.
Looking for a ride that's ready for anything Pittsburgh throws your way? Then it's time to meet the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester at Bowser Subaru. The 2025 Subaru Forester and its symmetrical all-wheel drive provides the confidence to explore from muddy trails to long stretches of highway. And with 3.9% APR for 48 months, you don't want to miss it. Don't wait. Visit Bowser Subaru today and take advantage of this limited time offer. With credit approval and financing through SMFL. See Bowser Subaru for complete details. Offer ends May 31st. Log on to BowserSubaru.com. Better yet, visit and take a test drive. Now that's the power of Bowser. BowserSubaru.com. Bowser Subaru, Route 51 South on top of the hill.
Hey, Paul Alexander here. It's officially crunch time. The 4th of July is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Backyard barbecues, family, friends, and the start of a summer of the new you. How would you feel if you dropped 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180 weight loss? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Forget challenges. This is about taking control with a proven program that works. It's attainable, doable, and easy. I did it. I lost 35 pounds in 6.5 weeks. Let me tell you what. Life is much better without carrying around all that extra baggage. This isn't wishful thinking. It's real results without gimmicks or medication. Just smart eating, simple guidance, and a clear path to success. Make this 4th of July your personal Independence Day from unwanted pounds and keep it off thanks to a free support for life. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com because when the fireworks go off this year, you're going to have something even greater to celebrate.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be relatively warm. We'll see clouds and some sun for the rest of today with a shower and thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon and evening hours. Our high 75. Partly cloudy overnight. There may be some fog late, though 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Lacina Drapery and Blind Factory, the area's best and most trusted name in custom window treatments, custom draperies, blinds, shade, shutters, and more. Unmatched craftsmanship, factory direct pricing. Call 412-665-4900 or go to lacinadrapery.com.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
I got to get to this. I think it's important. I had to reach out to one of my boys, who's one of my closest friends, and honestly has insane background in these areas with bullying. In fact, Phil and I went to the mat to fight for some students who were getting bullied, and Phil will do that, and I'm going to grab him in a second. So this kid was getting bullied in Ringgold, and this kid attempted suicide. And by the way, this is not a unique story, which actually makes me sick. You think of what kids are going through today with social media, and the bullying's crazy, man. It's just... There are suicides, man. And then these two kids got in some fight, and the kid who tried to commit suicide got part of his ear bitten off. I want you to hear this piece we put together. This was a story that they broke on KDKA TV yesterday. Listen.
They told me that they would make sure that my son was protected. And I begged this school for the last 2 solid months to help me. My son's ear is gone, and he's going to have a disformed ear. My son tried to kill himself because he's so depressed. My son is going to counseling. He has PTSD now.
It's real, man. There are thousands of cases. And I thought about Phil DiLucente immediately because my man is a warrior. And Phil, we sat in your office, and I know you know this stuff with students that you saved their lives by going to war for them, getting them back in school. This bullying stuff, Phil, can be really serious, can it not, sir?
Yeah, it's really something that has progressively gotten worse.
Yes.
And it's because of the technology, but it's also a sort of a meanness that has, I guess, always existed to some extent, but it's exacerbated because of the technology. And it's very harmful to our children. And the school districts, how many times have we had cases together, Marty, or I've represented people from various school districts, the young children, that aren't getting the attention necessary by these school boards or their superintendents or the principals. And, I think we've made a difference over time. And this story breaks my heart because, just what you said in your in part there, it's very, very horrendous.
So let me address what you just said because it's so significant. So the technology, what Phil's saying. So what happens now, and this is the truth. So girls see a girl who might have a body part they don't like. They take a picture and they put it out on social media, call her a whale and a pig. Right, Phil? And all of a sudden she wants to kill herself and she's isolated and insulated. Bullied at a level we never saw growing up. Right, Phil?
Yeah, and what everybody out there has to understand, and whether you have kids or don't have kids, the young mind thinks that the whole world, bar none, has seen whatever's posted because that's how they have been reared, especially anybody born after 2005.
Sure.
They will think that that's, and so then you add on that embarrassment that they have. And the real problem, I think, and I've said this for years, starts at home. Look, you can't raise your kids where they prey upon people's weaknesses.
Nice.
You need to really teach them that, if someone's picking on someone through social media posts because maybe you have the fat girl, because not everybody's captain of the football team or the head cheerleader.
Right.
Then you need to tell that young man or woman, come to their defense. Be the bigger person. I went out with a Commonwealth Court judge for a while pre-COVID to talk to schools about that.
You did.
And it's like Mr. Rooney, one of the great Pittsburghers of all time. And I'm not talking about the younger kids. I'm talking about Art, the chief. He said, don't mistake kindness for weakness. In fact, kindness is such a strength. And anybody that's kind is a very big strength because they are somebody that needs to be respected. So I implore that upon parents, and whether it's an uncle, I've done it with my nieces and nephews, and they've done that too. They've stuck up for these people that are in, various stages of their life. And the only thing I can tell those kids out there is it gets better, and this isn't the whole world seeing it. It's just a couple of people, and maybe those people that post it are going through their own problems too.
Hey, Phil, but let me interrupt you because I think it's important because what you ended up doing in many cases that I brought to you, you ended up in someone's face legally. What recourse do parents have? Because you said something. Sometimes the districts don't respond. Sometimes the teachers don't respond. What do you suggest parents do, sir, to be assertive here?
Well, thanks for posing that question. It's very simple. Talk is cheap. Make sure you memorialize everything. The initial conversation is fine because not everybody, has to memorialize right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I think you address it with the principal, the assistant principal, the counselor, and then if that doesn't go anywhere quickly, then add emails, superintendent, principal, assistant principal. And then if that doesn't go anywhere, guess what? We all have bosses. You know who my boss is? Every client I have. They're my boss at the end of the day, right? these superintendents that get paid very, very well,
Yes.
and I'm not suggesting it's not a tough job today,
No, it isn't. Yeah.
but they have a board, and that board, if you don't get any satisfaction, then you start writing to the board, because we all act at our own peril, and we need to actually take action. And just to kick the can down the road, like previous administrations have done with our national debt, you can't keep doing. And eventually you need to talk to these people.
And sometimes you need to get a lawyer involved. It gets that serious, Phil, as has happened with you numerous times.
Yeah, it's happened with me numerous times, and 99% of the time I've done it, or I shouldn't say 99%, a good percentage I've done just pro bono because I felt so bad.
Sir. Yeah.
But there's been other times that it consumes a lot of time. So I suggest and I implore that the parents, but here's the other thing, they have to be active too. People hire lawyers and they go, oh, well, guess what? The lawyer took it. He's in charge.
True.
No, we're not in charge. We need direction. We need you to do your homework, parents. We need you to write those letters even before you make that phone call. We need you to send those emails and build up what you're actually asking for, instead of just saying, because I have lots of people, they throw I made millions and millions of dollars. They just throw money at you and say, hey, take care of this, Phil. Take care of it, your team. Well, it's not that easy. They have homework to do as well.
We've done a couple cases that got national attention, quite frankly, because a lot of this stuff reaches out across the country and it's happening to kids and parents everywhere. Yes, sir?
Absolutely. And I can tell you, it's gotten worse. And
I agree.
It's not just physical.
It's true.
It's a mental abuse.
It's true.
And, if somebody said to me, if you had to pick between a kid getting into a fight in the playground and having these social media posts, I'd say, just like anybody, you get into a fight as a kid and then that guy ends up being your best buddy or whatever, but it's one little altercation.
Yep.
This social media, it stays out there forever.
Forever.
It doesn't fare well for the people who posted it and send it out to more people and tag and whatever the heck else they call that stuff. And it doesn't help the person that you're doing it to. So don't do it. It's real simple. Don't do it. And the school will say, because I've heard this before, Marty.
Yes, you have.
Well, it's not, that didn't happen on school property. Okay? Now let's think about that. Physical property. And I respect that. But if they're doing it during school hours, if there's a policy in place, too often in this country, and I fight for people's rights, but let's not overwrite kids either. You could have a behavioral policy that if it reflects poorly upon another student, that there should be a policy that there should be some type of consequence. That doesn't mean you throw them out. That's the other thing. These expulsion hearings are out of control as well. But you got to have a medium here. Maybe it's a couple detentions first time. Then it's maybe a couple days off from school. And then maybe you do the expulsion. But you have to take action. We can't sit on our hands. Everybody just wants to sit on their hands. That's why service industries are so big in this country. Everyone's getting a little lazy. We got to get a little bit less fat.
So I sat in an apartment last year in the Gateway School District with 5 girls who dropped out of school because they were bullied so badly. This is no joke, and it's dangerous as hell. And Phil said something significant. Memorialize everything. Keep the notes. Keep the emails. Keep all the data, and keep pushing the folks that matter. Start with the teacher, the counselor, the superintendent, the school board. Don't stop. Right, Phil?
Don't stop. And the minute that you become aware of it, address it.
Nice.
Don't think that, okay, this is going to play out, because in my experience, it never plays out. And, the old saying, well, kids will be kids. Well, that's true. But, if it's a mean, vindictive, as you were talking about this other poor child's cases, poor mother, what she's going through, you got to address it right away. And I'm not talking about that woman you were just talking about. Right. Anybody needs to just, when they become aware of it, you have to address it. And I know everybody's working their tail off and they're tired at the end of the day, but get those email addresses and start ripping off the emails.
And don't drive to someone's house and threaten them. Don't do the I'm going to kick your ass routine. Don't do it. Do it the right way, the way Phil just suggested. My brother, thank you.
That's
it's important stuff, my man. Important.
That's right, Marty. Thank you so much, and I wish this woman the best with her child. Thank you.
Man, I sat in his office when he's taken on school district and saved the lives of kids with his practice and his passion. He is my man. We're right back.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
You know what I love about Voss TV and Appliance? Every single appliance in our house that's been replaced, and about 7 of them, came from Voss. Why? Unbelievable service. Unbelievable repairs. Unbelievable pricing. And it's family-owned, and that makes such a big difference. Have you been to the showroom? Magnificent. The pricing, the service, the family atmosphere. 412-650-VOSS. 412-650-VOSS.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get Marty is brought to you by Perry Calder. When it matters most, contact Perry Calder Law.
Want to live a happier, healthier, pain-free life? Tune to Pittsburgh Works this Saturday morning at 7. Jessica Festa of the Optilux Wellness Center will feature all the services offered, including PRP, regenerative medicine, and massage therapy. Listen and heal this Saturday morning at 7.
Hey, folks, Marty here. Just talked to my boy, JK, the king of Oakmont restaurants. The Lot. Have you tried it? Best breakfast you'll ever have. Carnivores. Unbelievable wings. The Pub. Woo! The hamburgers. And how about Hofstadt's? The Italian is magnificent. So you got the Lot, Carnivores, the Pub, Hofstadt's. Every single one, the highest quality, the best food. Check them all out in Oakmont.
Loyalty has its rewards at your neighborhood Parmar store. See for yourself. Download the Parmar Stores app today and find deals, coupons, and earn points to get free groceries. Dan Zangrilli reminding you that if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hey, folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The thing about bullying is that it's a lot more destructive. Phil is so right. And I remember this. I've always been kind of a provocateur, is the word, or pain in the ass. I would pick on those guys that picked on people at school. I just would. And as a result, I got in some fights growing up. But, I mean, I'm serious. With some tough kids, and I was never a fighter, or a good one anyway. Not really the point. But Phil's right. Back in that day, man, it would last like 30 seconds. You would swing, he would swing, someone would hit in the stomach or the face, you'd fall to the ground, then you'd go home. Now what happens is the weapon is the cell phone and social media, and these kids destroy each other. I mean destroy. I mean, that young boy in that story where we played a couple clips tried to kill himself. I mean, he was suicidal, he was depressed. He was in a special oxygen chamber to try and heal. He has to have plastic surgery. And a woman reached out to me this morning and said there's two sides to this story, including the side of the boy who bit off his ear, and I'm sure there is. I'm certain as hell there is. And I know he was suspended, but I know they're back in school. And I know that tension persists and exists. We just kind of all assimilate to this belief that our kids are all perfect, and they're not. I've been very aware and listened very closely to my kids and their social media and how they treat people and how they talk about other people. If they call someone fat or ugly or stupid or lazy or anything. School can be horrendously difficult. Horrendously difficult. And in communities like Mount Lebanon, which they call the bubble, and for fair reason, you have a bunch of rich people who think their kids are perfect and they're not. And that creates a lot of angst in a school district and some cliques and some issues. And it's tough. It's tough, man. What makes me sad is when I end up at Phil's office, and I have at least 20 times, it's usually when the family is at wit's end and kids try to kill themselves, they've been kicked out of school, or they're too depressed to go back to school. They're called fat, or their sexuality is being questioned, and it's tough being a kid, man. And I mean, we all went through some stuff growing up, but Phil nailed it. Social media has changed the game. I had this epiphany last night. My daughters said that in the social platforms, if you have a public account, they get all these solicitations from men saying, I'll be your sugar daddy. I'll pay you $500 a month. Send me a picture. And that starts the madness. I find out there's an active investigation, sexploitation case in Mount Lebanon, where a man convinced a student to send him photographs. And now he's trying to exploit the kid and get money. And now it's become this massive investigation. This isn't how we grew up, man. None of that existed. Porn was sent in envelopes. I'm not suggesting it didn't exist. But now it travels in these dark worlds, and social media can be very, very, very beneficial. Big time. We've done tremendous things on our platform with social media. Reached millions of people. However, it can also be hateful and hurtful and malicious. And I would suggest we all take personal responsibility for our kids and what they're sending, and find out what they're receiving as well. And if you don't, shame on you. If they're getting bullied in school, don't go to someone's house. It's just not how it works. Start with the teacher. Go to the counselor. Go to the principal. Go to the superintendent. Go to the school board. Document all of it professionally. And if it isn't handled, come to us. Go to an attorney, and we'll take it from there. But it's very, very difficult and very, very painful, as you heard in that piece with that poor woman whose son in the Ringgold district had a horrible experience and had to be hospitalized and had part of his ear cut off. Horrible stuff. Tragic.
A fire, it can change everything in seconds, but Service Master of Greater Pittsburgh is ready 24/7 to help restore what matters most. From smoke damage to full rebuilds, their experts are trained, trusted, and ready to work with your insurance. Fire damage? Demand the yellow van and get back to normal faster.
Demand the yellow van. Call Service Master.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes You just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times. But when you need us, we're here for you. And we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your mornings. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Mostly cloudy and 74 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1:30. I'm Paul Alexander. Police are investigating a deadly crash late last night on Ohio River Boulevard in Emsworth. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near the intersection with Hazelwood Avenue, where a vehicle collided with a utility pole. The southbound lanes of Route 65 were shut down for several hours during the accident investigation. No word yet on how many people were inside the vehicle. The county touts its first fully electric street sweeper in the United States. News Radio KDK's Tamira Rush has the story.
The county transitioned to electric street sweepers as part of its efforts to reduce air pollution. Ann Lewis, executive director of Steel Rivers County of Governments, tells me the Elgin Broom Bear street sweeper is the first of its kind to be deployed anywhere in the U.S.
It's brand new technology that is both a fully electric chassis, which is the part that drives the truck, but also a fully electric engine on the back that works the sweeper unit.
Lewis says the units are out and about, so be on the lookout for them sweeping an area near you. Tamira Rush, News Radio KDKA.
Pittsburgh International's new landslide building, months away from opening, hosted its first event on Tuesday. News Radio KDK's David Bolorado has more.
While scaffolds still cover a good section of the new departures area, enough was ready to host the 300 or so people who attended Tuesday's festivities, including a Q&A segment with Airport Authority CEO Christina Cassotis and Sean Doyle, the head of British Airways. Cassotis says he liked what he saw.
Oh, yes. He took one of the tours. Actually, he was on one of the tours earlier, and he was really impressed. And, yes, I've spent quite a bit of time with him already.
Media also got a guided tour of the still under construction facility, with substantial completion expected by the end of June. Paul Hoback, the airport's chief development officer, says then 3 or 4 months of run-throughs will start as they gear up for a still undecided opening day. David Bolorado, News Radio KDKA.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 151 points, the NASDAQ up 74. The S&P 500 is up 4 points. KDK Radio News Time is 1:32. Our next update at 2 o'clock. I'm Paul Alexander on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe. Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this football season. The Black and Gold are headed to Ireland, and so can you with AAA and me. Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us for a 4-night trip September 25th through the 29th. Includes round-trip airfare, airport, hotel, and game transfers. Your stay at the Sandy Mount Hotel. Reserved game ticket at Croke Park Stadium and more. From $55.36 per person, double occupancy. Here we go to the Emerald Isle for the game with AAA. Call 1-800-848-1238 for details and reservations.
Experience, leadership, equity, and integrity represent how Sheriff Kevin Krause effectively serves Allegheny County. Paul Martino here, supporting the re-election of Allegheny County Sheriff Kevin Krause. Kevin's proven commitment to public safety, his exemplary law enforcement principles, and his decades of local law enforcement service are key reasons to re-elect him as sheriff.
I'm Sheriff Kevin Krause. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by Friends of Kevin Krause for Sheriff.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, "Have a great trip," keep on saying, "You too." And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Hey, folks, Marty here. What's a 4-letter word for indoor-outdoor cleaning? It's COIT, C-O-I-T. Save 30% off all COIT cleaning services from my friends at COIT. Carpets, rugs, drapes, upholstery, outdoor porch and patio furniture, and more. Get everything amazingly COIT clean for the warm weather. Call COIT. Save 30% right now. 1-800-FOR-COIT. 1-800-FOR-COIT. Get your home cleaned by the best. COIT.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds and some sun for the rest of today with a shower and thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. Our afternoon high 75. Then partly cloudy later tonight with patchy fog forming, low 58. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us on the Big K Morning Show tomorrow, 5:30 until 10. With the Steelers schedule out, we'll sort through it with a man who's seen more games than anyone in history.
Who cares? Let me know when they start winning again. Man, we're in a bad place with our teams. The Pirates suck, the Penguins, the Steelers. All right. Let's get to something important. So we had this wonderful woman on a few hours ago, Denise, who lives in Burgettstown. Hello, or how are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
So we kind of went through the drama, what's happening with all these pharmacies shutting down everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started looking for alternatives for you. And you got online and you found kind of sort of a solution. I wanted our audience to hear this. What did you end up doing?
Well, my husband, I ended up going with Express Scripts, which my husband has on his insurance plan. I'm on different insurance. And I called member services, and they gave me the number for Express Scripts, and I got this wonderful woman.
Nice.
And actually she was able to handle all of it, where initially I was told that I would have to contact all of our doctors and have them contact Express Scripts. And even though that's not too much work for me to do, you kind of have to trust that the medical people on the other end are going to follow through and do that within the next couple days. Actually call Express Scripts. Well, this girl was able to do it, and it must have been the way I guess the insurance was set up, or Express Scripts. Then
who's your insurance,
I asked,
who's your insurer?
Well, my husband has UPMC. Plan G. It's a private pay, and because we're both retired. Now I am on Medicare, and I have Aetna as my supplement.
And so where are your scripts coming from?
Well, I was able to get them on Express Scripts also.
Oh. Wow.
And I guess this has to be a time when I have to be thankful for technology, much as I hate to say that, because this girl was able, at Express Scripts, was able to pull up my name, all of my current medications. Now, I used to be on UPMC, but I've been on Medicare for a few years now.
So everything's
and
cool.
she was.
So now
she said she was going to take care of it on her end.
Wow. So my man's here.
Now
with, hold on, Lance O'Brien, my buddy from MedExpress, is here. What is Express Scripts? What is that?
So, as we talked about a couple hours ago, basically there's a bunch of vendors out there that provide delivery service, right? So, depending on the carrier that you have, the insurance carrier, that could impact who your delivery service is. But they'll set it up on a 90, usually it's 90 days, right? Because they don't want to be mailing every 30 days, right? Because that's a little bit too much from the delivery standpoint and everything. But, yeah, if you can connect with that, like I said, it's a great solution.
So it is, okay.
It's a great solution to the closing of the stores. You just got to make sure you know where your preferred pharmacy is if you need to go to a brick and mortar.
Do you know that, Denise?
Right.
What's Plan B? What's Plan B if the crap hits the fan and you need a prescription? Where the hell do you go? You don't know yet.
Well, that's a good question. If I get the prescription while I'm at a doctor's office in Pittsburgh or Washington, I guess I'll just walk into some pharmacy and beg. I don't know.
So like in her scenario, she has an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, it sounds like, from what she said.
Yeah.
So if she has Aetna.
No, I do not have an Advantage plan.
You don't? You have
no, I don't.
A supplement?
Yes, a supplement. I have a Medi-Cal,
Who's your Part D plan with?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's all right. But regardless, she has things.
I see, that's just it. I did not have a regular prescription plan. I would have, my scripts would have been covered better at CVS all along. But since CVS was so far away, I wanted to stay with Rite Aid. I felt more comfortable with them and the pharmacists there. So I've just been paying a little bit more and turning in my receipts at the end of the year.
There you go. Denise, thank you. It's very, very helpful to us.
Okay, now the one other thing that I did let you know about, Marty, was that Rite Aid never sent out any notification. I don't know if the other stores did that have closed, but they had a rewards program for years. You have a card, you get, you show it every time you buy something, you get money off.
They're in such disarray, they can't find their rear end with two hands and a flashlight. Thank you, darling. Right? I mean, right, Lance? Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough times.
Let's transition into something really important. What's happening in D.C. and your interpretation of that, please.
Yeah, so obviously we saw the executive order was signed, and it's actually similar to something he tried to do in the first.
This is Trump.
Trump in the first term, which he wanted to pay less than the other companies. This time he's going after equal.
He wants Americans to pay what foreign countries pay, in essence.
Yeah, which, again, I think is very interesting because it was about a month ago. I was sitting right in this seat, and I talked about what I had just seen down in Florida, where technically we're usually paying about 60. They're paying about 60%. We're paying 100. So it's about a 40 to 50% difference in what we pay here in America compared to European countries.
Whoa.
So it's pretty significant. And again, we're almost 20%, 19.7 to be exact, of our health care is spent on prescriptions.
But why is it 40% different? Why?
Well, that's a great question, right? And that's where it doesn't really make sense because a lot of it's also manufactured here. So it goes back to, I don't want to bring up a dirty word, right? But it goes back to some of this tariff stuff, right? Where it's like, we're manufacturing, it's going over to them, they're paying less than us, it doesn't make any sense, and we're just trying to make it make sense, right? So it's very interesting, the executive order that was signed, though, because he's basically giving the pharmaceutical companies 30 days to voluntarily make changes to their pricing, right?
What will that mean for your people?
Well, again, if the prices get lowered, that's good for everybody. The only person that is saying this isn't good is who?
Pharmaceutical company.
There you go. So the pharmaceutical companies, they're basically saying, and the reason they're saying it, which is funny, we don't really have enough time to get into all of this, but they're saying that it's a bad thing because then they won't be able to spend as much on research.
Come on.
They won't be able to get new,
Wah.
Dude, I do my homework, and I can tell you right now, the top 16 pharmaceutical companies last year had $684 billion in revenue.
Whoa.
They spent about $116 million of that on their shareholders, which was pretty equivalent to what they spent on new drug development.
Wow.
So,
seriously?
Yep, seriously.
Wow.
So I ain't buying the excuse of we don't like it because we won't be able to spend as much on.
So where the hell are the new drugs coming from?
Well, again, they're developing some new drugs because they're still putting $116 billion or $120 billion into it, right? But it's equivalent to what they're giving to their shareholders. They just don't want to spend less money, right? They don't want the consumer to pay less.
Right. But at the end of the day, if this plays out, this is a good thing for anyone that you represent with MediConnect. Anyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they are now, again, if you read on the article, who it's going to impact the most is the people on Medicare and Medicaid, because this executive order doesn't have power over private insurers. It has it over government insurers, which would affect the people on Medicare and Medicaid. So the people who would benefit from this the most would be people on Medicare and Medicaid.
But how many Americans?
Oh, man, we're going to be around 80 million here in about 10, 20 years.
It's a significant
amount of the population, about 25%.
So you want this to happen. Why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I'm always, and again, it's funny because I'm right in the middle of what we call my CE credits. Every 2 years I have to do continuing education, to keep my license and all that. Yeah. And my deadline is May 31st. That's a whole nother story. And I've been very, very busy, but the average, less than 70% of seniors, because this was in the course I was taking this morning, less than 70% of seniors in America today live on more than 50% or $50,000 a year.
Whoa.
So only 30% of our population of seniors is making over $50,000 a year.
Whoa.
So there's not a lot of revenue there. There's not a lot of income there. So any decrease that we can provide in the prescription prices, think about $50,000 doesn't really go a long way, and that's the top level. You start getting into how many people are living under $30,000 a year. We need to make things more affordable for our seniors, no doubt about it.
My man, Mad Max, is this true? The United States is the only country, is the only country in the world where it's legal to direct market to consumers of drugs. Is that true?
Honestly, I don't know the exact answer to that, but I can tell you this. When I was looking at the chart before I came in, the marketing dollars the pharmaceutical companies spend is a lot of money as well, Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, billions and billions and billions of dollars.
So what, we have a 30-day window?
We have a 30-day window, which, again, are they going to voluntarily drop their prices? Hell no, right? So then what's going to happen from there?
Right.
Then it's going to be a long, drawn-out process where maybe over the course of 3, 5, 10 years, we see realities to it.
My mind lands. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
It's good stuff, folks.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
Follow the red, white, and new to Shorkey Kia's Memorial Day Super Sale. New 25 Kia Sportage LX or the new 25 Kia Seltos LX. Your choice, only $199 per month for 24 months with $29.95 due at signing. At Shorkey Kia, you get it all, including 2 years of prepaid maintenance and $500 more for your trade. PA's #1 volume Kia dealer, locations in North Huntingdon and Wexford. ShorkeyKia.com. Call 1-855-410-4037 for complete details on all offers and terms.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast, What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit us in Robinson Town Center, in Cranberry Township, and now open in Morgantown.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, my house has a new glow. I love my windows, Universal Windows Direct.
Get 50% off your windows. That's half off. Plus, no interest, no payments, 12 months, and a free entry door with your windows purchase. 412-545-6003. Check it out now.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Is your business looking for local and national health coverage? If you have more than 50 employees, UPMC Health Plan has something new for you. UPMC National Access. UPMC National Access gives employees access to the top-ranked doctors and hospitals of UPMC, along with nationwide access through the Cigna Healthcare PPO network. For the quality, affordable coverage that your company deserves, locally and nationally, choose UPMC Health Plan.
Judge Michelle Santacola is running for a seat on the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. With decades of legal experience and currently serving as magisterial district judge, Michelle Santacola has always applied fairness and integrity to the thousands of cases she has presided over. She is highly recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association and widely endorsed by various labor organizations.
I'm Judge Michelle Santacola. I'd be honored to earn your vote on May 20th.
Paid for by Friends of Michelle Santacola.
And now for a business news update from the Pittsburgh Business Times. I'm managing editor Mike Larson. Module, a Garfield-based sustainable housing developer, is pursuing its biggest project yet at Hazelwood Green. Company executives presented a new proposal to build out a new 3-story apartment project to be bookended by 2 new 5-story multifamily projects by Trek Development Group. Module's project would be developed in conjunction with Trek's plans, sharing a parking lot and a driveway, and with Trek expected to manage Module's units, which are expected to be 1 and 2 bedrooms. Module plans to make the apartments available at rents of 80% to 120% of the area median income. Also, a local banking veteran with prior experience at First Commonwealth Bank in Pittsburgh has returned to the company as the new business banking team leader for Metro Pennsylvania. Benito Rivera returns to First Commonwealth following 8 years at Northwest Bank, where he was most recently Senior Vice President and Regional Commercial Relationship Manager. For more on these stories and other local business news, log on to PittsburghBusinessTimes.com. I'm Mike Larson.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Denise called us this morning with she's living in rural America where all these pharmacies are saying we're out. And this is happening all over the country. Thousands of pharmacies, these CVS's, Walgreens, Rite Aid. You probably noticed it yourself, folks. I did. I used to stop at one of them on the way home and get these, because I had a cancer treatment, I have very little saliva, so I have to have these stupid lozenges in my mouth pretty much 24 hours a day, and they don't have them. They have no inventory, man. They have no money. They're bankrupt. They're out. And that poor thing, she's in Burgettstown, and they don't even tell them they're closing. But, had the intuitive nature to go out and find a way to get them through the mail. And here we go. It's tough, though. And I've said this before about these rural communities. It's hard for them to attract businesses and folks to live there. Because if you drive around, yeah, I want to live in the country, fine. But then you find, if you're a young couple, there are no daycares. None. Then you find many of the local hospitals have no maternity ward. None. It's bad, man. And then you find that your pharmacy's gone. I mean, it's tough. So they can't attract jobs because they can't attract young couples. And then stuck in the middle of this madness are these old folks who love it there, but they got no pharmacy, man. Barely have a grocery store. Barely have a hospital. America in decline. And on a real basic level, they don't have bandwidth, many of them, the high-speed internet, so they're jacked there, too. It's tough. And it's tough. Real tough. And I don't know what the solution is. Some say just order it online. Okay, but as we've suggested this whole morning, in a pinch, where does Denise go? She doesn't know yet. And that's the difficulty with what's happening. It's just tough. But we're going to stay on it and stick with it because it's important to you and it's important to us. I find it very distressing sometimes, though, with our economy, how it shifts. And when it shifts, it leaves behind entire communities without daycare or hospital care or pharmacy or a grocery store. It's true. So this whole dream of living in the country becomes a nightmare for people, and it's a pain in the ass. Just saying. My man Colin is next.
Honored to win the Marconi Award as the best news talk station in the country. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.